They'll all be at it. Have a great weekend, whatever you're doing, everybody. But don't forget, GUKPT is in town until Sunday, and then we're back next Friday till Sunday, and then we're back Wednesday till Sunday. Fingers crossed, Chef. Get yourself into the turbo. It starts at 9 PM. YouTube is timing in. YouTube back. So YouTube is back, different link. Oi, oi, Mehmet. Mehmet's in North Cyprus. Another great turnout. Good luck, all players. I hope your poker gods are with you. I've not seen the Mad Turk this week. And Omer Yandesh. We'll try and keep an eye out for Omer Yandesh. What's it like in Cyprus in November? What's the temperature like? I really should do Cyprus and Greece, Nick. I really love that part of the world. Hopefully we can start to travel around the world again with less and less restrictions very soon. Would help. Been a bit of a struggle in the last 12 months, hasn't it? Get a GUKPT there, and then they'll have to let you go. Well, back to the table, because Yvonne with the ace queen is all in for 13.4 after initial raise and a 3-bet. All pre. Stephen the same hand. Can't see him calling with 2 players behind him, so he does get out of the way. Back down to Antoine South. Oh, she thought he folded. Antoine's in the hand. Yvonne a bit presumptuous there. And the 7s do get out of the way. Today was the first rain, but it's humid. I've been to Turkey in October, that was nice. That was about 25 degrees. That was nice a couple of years ago. That was nice. But I've not done Cyprus. Been to Greece. The old touristy bit round Al-Khadiki. But Cyprus sounds good. Mehmet, we'll have to meet up. I think 2021 we'll have to meet up. So it's a great idea, the Greek UKPT. It's a great idea. That's what the G stands for. We will try and find out what Omer Yandesh is on, and we're not seeing the Mad Turk today, unfortunately. Mad Turk not playing London's 12.50. Greek, Greek, I like it, I like the idea. Greek UKIPT. Do I call there with ace queen? Probably not. I think it was the correct fold, because there were 2 players to act behind him. That's the problem. That was the problem. 2 players to act behind him. Antoine was marginal with the 7s, but they decided against the. They decided against the call. Is Cyprus open all year round, or does it get cold in the winter? I know most of the season in Turkey finishes at the beginning of November. Everything closes down. But hopefully we're all back on YouTube, Twitch and Facebook right now. We have been told there's a different link on YouTube. Have you found it?
Yep, got it.
Tens for Dan. Under the gun, raising it up. I'm trying to get rid of it.
Whoa!
Whoa, she's folded jacks!
She's folded jacks now!
Ah, what's happening here? Oh. Wow, she doesn't like to call with anything with any raise before. She hates to be calling.
I've seen her play one hand tower. That was the King 9.
She just jammed with Ace Queen just then, and then got everybody to fold. She likes to be the aggressor. She doesn't like to be calling or 3-betting.
Wow,
folding the jacks. But it could end up as another good fold. Because for 3-bet to 3.8, Stephen in seat 2. Steve Lockett in seat 2. With Stephen O'Keefe in seat number 7. This is Steve Lockett in the hand. 3.8. Dan going to be calling. We're going to be seeing a flop. With the 10 of diamonds. 10 of clubs. Dan's got the 10s. Stephen Ace King. We'll fold the jacks pre. Oh! Hang fire! Are there any royal draws about?
Well, more importantly, Yvonne would have flopped the set of jacks.
Oh, wow. Oh, my days. I forgot about that. Wow. Would have been a set of jacks. Would have been against a flush draw, a bottom pair. Keith's got top pair. Good job he's not got the ace of clubs. That would have been impressive.
Yeah, so Dan here, not loving life. I know we got an up and down royal draw, but like
a lot
of the time
happens like once.
We're gonna need to hit, like a lot of the time we're gonna need to hit either a club, ace or 9 on the turn, or a 10 sometimes. Yeah. But obviously not going anywhere.
No. But Yvonne, no, there's the flush. Yvonne with the set of jacks, correct fold. Again.
We'll find out on the river.
Oh my days. Steve bets 6k.
Yeah, this is a pretty clear check spot for us here as Steve with ace king, but some reason opts to fire up and Dan just has clear call. Yeah, just no reason.
Handbrake should be on. It has to be. Oh! Oh, Danny Charlton. Oh my days, we have a royal.
Makes a royal on the end with the 10 of clubs in his hand.
It's impossible to get called. We have a royal. We know it's only a 1-card royal, but we have a royal for Dan Charlton.
Yeah, and Stephen's just in a world of hurt here. Yeah. The thing is,
playing the board.
The thing is here, Tower, though, what might be going through his head is a 3-bet pot, and with the ace, king, queen, and jack of clubs on the board, there's not really too many clubs that Dan's supposed to have here, other than specifically pocket 10s or maybe pocket 9s or 8s with the club. So, we've only actually got 8s with a club, 9s with a club, 10s with a club. So working with 6 combos, that's it. Working with actually 6 combos at hands here that Dan should actually have that contain a club in them. So that might be why Stephen's still thinking here. And fair enough, if he's really delved into it this deeply. There's only actually 6 combinations of hands. Maybe Dan doesn't go this thin with 7s with the 7 of clubs. So he's called it.
Wow!
He called for the chop.
I'm gonna be showing me royal.
Called for the chop, and the ace king's got to be shown, and the royal of Dan Charlton gets a double up. But Stephen, non-believer, if he thought about it, like we said, there's not actually too many combinations of hands that Dan's supposed to have in this spot that contain a club. So if he really thought about it like that, can't fault him for calling. But we are only calling for a chop in that situation. Need to note that. We're never calling to scoop ourselves. So price becomes a lot worse. Needs to be right a lot more often. But raw flush on stream for you guys. Nice.
Absolutely.
Courtesy of Dan Charlton.
So we get a royal. Boom diddy boom 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 for Mr. Dan at Charlton. We get a royal.
People pay their money, beach, they can do what they want with their 20k chips. When you've put in your 1250, you can play exactly how you want to play. Like a lot of the field, most of the field aren't players that do this for a living. People just enjoy the game, recreationals, and have the fun and the buzz of it, not expecting to win it themselves, but if they have a deep run, they have a deep run. It's as always sat at the table, I will speak over hands and give advice of maybe what we can do differently in some certain spots, but you never berate someone for playing
Absolutely
their
not.
chips how they want to play them.
Exactly. We all play the same. We'll be going on for 17 days.
Yep.
Well, we've had a royal.
So Dan Charlton up to 62k before the dinner break.
Go on to Charlton.
Level 4 of the day. 100, 300.
Oh.
I think what Brad's trying to say, Kev, is you can fold jacks pre, but you can't fold jacks pre to a single open. There are spots pre-flop where you can let the jacks go, but there's definitely in that single raise situation, it just never should be folding jacks ever in that situation. Should not be folding jacks to a single raise in a tournament situation. In a satellite situation, there will be dynamics where you would have to fold them. But in this particular scenario, it's a very tight lay down. But like I say, she's bought in. She's can do what she wants with her chips. If she wants to play a bit more snug than most, then fair play. An hour clock. Patience may pay off in the end. So Aria got a nice one to open, ace jack. And Kamal's in with the 3 deuce. And Paul just going to call with the 9s, and this time Dan Charlton wakes up with the jacks on the button, and he will not be folding them. He's going to be squeezing here almost always with all this dead money in the pot. And he is cutting out squeezing chips, 3-bet to 3.3k. And action back on Aria here. And I mentioned yesterday in these situations when you do open ace jack, ace 10 off, those type of hands from early position, when you are faced with a 3-bet, a lot of the time do just want to be tossing it into the muck, out of position. And that's exactly what Aria is going to do, makes a good lay down. But Paul's going to be making the call after Kamal doesn't get out of the way. So I was going to say, we'll be going heads up with Dan and Paul, but Kamal's going to come along with a ride with a 3 deuce in the 3-bet situation. And Paul's just never folding nines here, closing action. He'll have to make the call and see a flop. But Kamal getting involved with the 3 deuce. People have been watching Rigby from the WSOP. So to the flop, King 5 deuce, 2 clubs. So overcards both the jacks and nines of Dan and Paul. Kamal catches bottom pair, but this one should be checked over to Dan Cholton with the jacks. Got a tricky one here, Dan, with stack sizes. We've got Kamal sitting with just over pot size, but is going to opt to bet small. I think this is going to be a check or a really small bet spot a lot of the time. Opts for 2.5, so between 5th and quarter. And Kamal just rips in the 3 deuce on King 5 deuce. And now Dan, what are we doing with jacks? And cool is the answer. Maybe he just knows that Kamal is a crazy customer. And Kamal's going to need to hit a 3 or a deuce, but just went for it there, ripped it in for his 40 big blind stack over the continue from Dan Cholton. And Dan, oh, he stacks a deuce on the turn. This game is mental. Where does that come from? And Kamal going to double up. 3 deuce, check rip with bottom pair against the jacks of Dan Cholton. Trips on the turn. What a life, says Span. What a life indeed. And I'm guessing because Dan snapped so quickly with the jacks there, he's got some information on this particular opponent. He must have been up to some stuff prior to this session. Otherwise, I'm sure Dan would have at least tanked for a bit, but he absolutely snapped his arm off there with the jacks, and must mean that Kamal has been up to these antics in the first session of the day. More of the same. That's what we like to see. I don't like to see it because I like Dan off the table. Really nice guy. Unlucky one for him there, but Kamal putting the entertainment value onto the feature table, and I'm sure Dan Cholton will get them back at some point. He's still got a healthy stack. Talal. Yeah, maybe I don't know, I think Talal's got a bit of a smaller frame than Paul, but I can see where you're coming from when he's got the specs on. How you doing, Gary? What's in the box? What's on the menu? The food that's being passed out now, you had an option between prawn, vegetable or lamb curry. That was on the menu today. So Anton 3-betting the hijack open from Paul with the ace jack. Paul not going to be going anywhere here, near the top of his range. And we'll make the call. Flop a queen 8 deuce. 2 hearts, so Paul flopping the best of it. Top pair, top kicker. So Paul gonna continue to keep his range wide. Just gonna check call with the ace queen on this board. Anton still does have the kings and aces in his range, but it's hijack versus button dynamic, and I'm sure Paul's aware of who Anton is and how capable he can be in certain spots. But this is a spot where he is just going to be checking behind. Not too much going on for him on this particular turn card, so checks back as the 9 of clubs rolls off on the river, giving Paul the check mark in the situation. And now, probably just going to see Paul come in for value here. Once Anton checks back turn, we're just always going to have the best hand. There will be some traps, I guess, that he can have, or maybe some rivered sets of 9s, 3 combos of that, but going to need to be value betting this one as Paul, and that's exactly what he does with the ace queen. Looks like 5k, 1 chip. And now Anton with ace jack cannot be calling. Just do not be anything here other than missed heart draws if Paul's got like a king jack, king 10 of hearts type hand. But Anton knows that we're just behind to most of Paul's range once he comes in for the lead on that river and makes the correct laydown. But good afternoon, everyone. We are about 35-40 minutes away from the hour dinner break. This is day 1B of the 12.50 buy-in here in London. Final leg of the season. We've got plenty going on as well over the course of the week. Next weekend, cash game stream, playoff stream, mini main day 2 stream, and then the following week, the closing week, the big one. But before that, on the Wednesday, we've got the Heads Up Championship, UK 6 Max, Haymaker, Sit and Go. It's just so much going on, and that is the stream schedule. As all the events that Tower and myself are going to be covering over the next 18 days. Well, 17 days now, because the 18th has gone. Had a great session back end of yesterday. The last 2 hours with some watch. If you want to go back and watch that one on YouTube, you will not be disappointed. So Bav comes to the table and straight off the bat raises to 600 with the pocket 5s, and Dan Cholton comes in with a snap 3-bet to 1.8k. Good hand selection. It's a hand that's got good playability. Get the bet and lead ourselves. We're going to have a lot of good flops for us in situations. And Yvonne, who folded, this is just like, what? So hold on, she's folded 9s to an open, she's folded jacks to an open, she's folded 7s to an open, but then she wakes up with ace jack and just comes in for the cold 4-bet rip for 67 big blinds. Just going to cold 4-bet rip the ace jack for 67 big blinds versus +2 and hijack 3-bet situation. No. God, what is going on in Yvonne's head? Timed to perfection as well. Like, she's timed it to perfection again. The jacks fold, she would have been up against ace king. The 9s fold, she would have been no good. And then she just finds this cold 4-bet rip for 67 big blinds. She's the female Craig Dawson. I make you right, Span. I make you right. There we go. And you, Yvonne, stacking the chips. Gets the pot going her way. Good to see. I think that's the first one she's had go her way on the featured table. Anthony's probably got his feet up somewhere ready back for Saturday. Super King. He was a great watch. Hopefully we get him on the feature tomorrow at some point. He's really, really good entertainment. Really enjoy watching Anthony on the featured. A little cold 4-bet rip for 67 big blinds with ace jack off after EP open and middle position 3-bet. No fear from Yvonne.
What's happening, kid? What's happening?
So you know Yvonne, she folded jacks to an open.
And 7s and 9s.
Now?
No way. I don't want to hear it.
So Bav opens early position.
Yeah.
Dan Cholton 3-bets.
Yep.
Yvonne looks down. She's got ace jack off. I'm all in for 20k. Fold. Gets it through. Perfectly timed as well. Neither of them had a hand. She just knew. Tower.
There's something in that water bottle.
Yeah. I hope not, because I'm drinking that same water from the same fridge.
Amazing. Gary McCaffrey loves it. She unloaded the clip. His favourite saying. Brilliant. Oh dear. Amazing.
Yeah, and case 8 on this flop for Stephen. Middle set for him. Wow, and Aria's going to donk this spot. Oh, okay, flop check through. My apologies, Aria. It's actually an 8 that come on the turn. So it was a slight graphic error, but that makes sense. No donk from Aria. It was check through flop, and then Aria opted to lead turn once picking up 2 pair, which makes sense on King 8-6. So Stephen just flattened with the 8s, trying to keep some bluffs in of Aria. We're going to get value from a king anyway on the river. We just flattened with the pocket 8s, and now Aria's got a pretty easy check. Now Stephen should be pretty aware that Aria's not really going to have a king now once he leads turn and then checks this river, so potentially, like Stephen, just to go small. This is too big, I think. Near the pot size here, around 90% from Stephen. Like, we need to think about the hands that Aria leads turn with and then checks river. Like, if he's got a king that's leading turn, that king's going to continue barreling almost always on the river, so a lot of the time we can exclude that from his range. So we've got 2 8s in our hand, so even difficult for him to have an 8, so maybe a lot of the time it would just be a 6x or maybe a straight draw bluff that's picked up a 9 on the river. So for that reason we need to opt to go smaller in these spots, but the 4k bet of Stephen does get the job done. Either way, Aria makes a good fold, but we might have got a hero there. We did opt for the small size and just really thinking about opponent's range, what hands he's going to play that certain way.
Significant number playing today. 200.
200 in.
200 in today. Your line yesterday was 240. 200 in today. You can late reg all day, and there's a turbo at 9 p.m. 200 in today. Getting close to the 300. As you can see, the guys are all tucking into a little bit of lamb curry or a little bit of prawn noodles or
vegetable curry
or the veg curry for the option. And don't forget, we do still get the 60-minute dinner break at 5 to 5. It's Friday. It's 5 to 5. It's Mark Kelly's time.
Is Mark Kelly's just a brand in Blackpool? Is it
Yes.
only in Blackpool?
Yeah, just a franchise in Blackpool. I don't know if, I think there used to be one in Preston, but it's only northwest, literally Blackpool. I think there's 5 in total. The Showboat one near where you were staying first off the Norbreck.
Yeah.
There's a big one there.
Oh, okay.
That was a standalone pub called Uncle Tom's Cabin. But that's now Mark Kelly's, that's their show bar kind of thing. But they're everywhere. 30 minutes to go until the end of this session. We will have a new table with us at the start of level 5, which will be at 5:55.
Yeah, all those chickens understand what you're saying. I just think in these fields, although they're 1k buy-ins, a lot of your decisions, like you can look at theory and everything and what part of our range we should be calling with in certain spots, but a lot of decisions in these particular fields are very player dependent, and that's probably the case from Aria there. A lot of the time he just thinks Stephen's never going to have any bluffs in that particular situation. Maybe he thinks Stephen's checking back King X too much on the flop as well. He's going to check that back as a trap on King 6 rainbow. I think you can obviously have a good fundamental base for decisions and what part of your range you should be calling in this spot, because what our range perceives to look like, but not enough opponents in this field are going to even be thinking along those lines. So you've just got to be making exploitable laydowns against certain opponents that are just going to under bluff in particular spots, and that's what I think is the best strategy to come in with in these particular fields. Like, yes, it is a 1k, but it's not like a tough 1k. Some of the stuff we see on the featured table, it seems like a decent tournament to get involved in. some of the stuff that we've seen already.
Afternoon, the Fizz, watching on YouTube. Probably banned on Facebook, so probably have to watch on YouTube. Have Grosvenor ever considered making a TV programme like EPTs used to do with another feature table? The presenters are the actual cost of running a second table and an outside broadcast to have two tables running at the same time would probably make it 10x, which would to us be impossible to do. The cost of it, because then you need a proper outside broadcast, you need proper, you need producers, spotters, you need directors, you need all sorts. It's a proper. You've been to EPTs and you've seen the floor staff, you've seen the floor on TVs. When you go to the ESPN, where the World Series, the amount of staff there, it costs millions. As you can appreciate, as you can appreciate, this. Even though it's the best production we could visibly watch, and we do a great job, it's all down the cost.
Afternoon, Mark. Afternoon, Kemba. Haven't missed too much, Kemba. You missed a Royal, actually. Shouldn't say you haven't missed too much, but there was a Royal.
Dan Cholton had a Royal and got paid off.
Yeah, all those chickens, that's fine. I always say in these comps, like, it's not a 100k super high roller, like in those sort of tournaments. Then yeah, you'll be thinking a lot along those lines. You'll be thinking very theory based. But in these particular fields, although it's a 1k buy-in, like, I think the best way to make chips is exploit. Yeah, you're going to be up against some good players on certain tables. You might get a hard table draw, and then maybe veer more back towards theory, but when you're against certain customers, I think exploit is the way forward to make your chips in these particular fields. That's why it's hard sometimes as well, player dynamic on the feature table. We only get to see one session of these players. We don't know what's been going on our tables. We don't know how certain players have been playing, how they're perceived by other players, and a lot of decisions are going to come from these sort of things. And that's the stuff that we miss. We try and look at the hand from sort of the best perspective we can, but we're going to miss things from that have happened throughout the day. A lot of decisions are going to be based on past hands with opponents that you've played with before.
Yes, I do.
Brad, is it not possible that it's someone that likes to play poker whose name is also Brad, who also cooks for a living? Is that not a possibility? Rather than being an imposter? Could it just not be a coincidence?
We should have real names. When you look at it really quickly, it looks like they're talking to themselves and answering the same questions. Good to have you on board, everybody, watching the live stream here from London. The GUKPT 1250 is normally a main event. This is the first event of a 3-weekend festival. Oh no! Fizz has got the old Rona. He's got him. Got the old Rona. Hope you're alright though, Fizz. And you'll be back on your feet. Hopefully it's just a mild dose of what it was.
It's 9-8 suited for Aria. Going to open this one in the hijack. raises to 8. Kamal's in, and Bav got a nice spot to 3-bet here with the ace king on the button.
Oh, Arnie with the 8-9, 2.8 to go.
Fold. Kamal, we've seen peeled a 3-bet with a 3-deuce, so I'm going to go out on a limb and say he's not folding tower. Oh, he is folding.
He is.
He is folding.
We saw Bav as he walked in, said hello to us. So we have around about 20 minutes to go until the end of this session, and then a 60-minute dinner break, which will take us to 5:55, and a new table coming with us. We'll find out who's coming to the table so we can give you some inside info for level 5.
Yeah, Kamal's turn to wake up with the ace king, raises to 1.1, and Antoine not going to defend the king 8.
Well, I get well soon, Fizz. 14 days total bed rest. As long as you're watching the live stream and we're keeping you entertained, fingers crossed you get back on your feet ASAP and you're wandering around the room soon. Yeah, it'll be absolutely great for us to see Dan Charlton running deep. We love him to bits. Done the circuit for years and years, and he is a star.
Kamal with ace king again, same combo as well.
How does that work? Chances of that then, the old fruit?
About 1,000 to 1 back-to-back same combos over. What is it? 1,000 and I think it's 64 combinations at hand, so around that to 1. It's definitely over 1,000 to 1.
Wow.
Getting dealt the exact same combination.
Back to back action
hands.
from Antoine South.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind this from Bav. He's just sat down at the table unaware of Kamal and just seen him open a couple of pots, so coming in for the 3-bet versus this, and Antoine picks up on it, comes in for the cold 4 with the ace queen out the small. And Kamal here with ace king. We saw him, the way he played that 3-deuce, I think he might just elect to get this in here versus Antoine stack size.
The lot is in. Bav will get out of the way. A wry smile from Bav. He wants to get involved, but he's not going to. And now the ace queen.
Yeah, so it's a really weird spot because like we don't ever expect any, like, population-wise, anyone to ever have worse than ace queen here, but Kamal it's been a tricky customer. We've seen this session already, but Antoine still makes the correct laydown. He just thinks he's flipping at best, or a lot of the time he's crushed by this particular holding.
He shows him the ace. Heading towards the end of the session. and a 60-minute break.
I've just been messaged by one of my mates saying it's 1,326 combinations. So I was off by about 300, but I did say over 1,000 to 1. So there you are.
1,326 to 1 to get the same two cards, 2 hands running. Impressive.
There we are.
15 minutes plus just to go to the end of this session. Over £300,000 in the prize pool. Prize pool currently standing at £326,000. 200 runners today for day 1B. Jay's line yesterday was 240. Is Boz in? I've not seen Boz. He is down in London. Is Boz, but I don't think he's played the main. If he is, then we'll let you know. But he won the 30-30 in Leeds last week. We know he smashed Blackpool as well. So we saw Carl Pickles and Boz in the building. I don't know if Boz was playing, but he's in London. He did indeed. Jamie, the lads back from Vegas for the main event. No, we've been told that Jamie, Chris McGuire, and Paul Ewan McNicholas will be playing the grand final in 2 weeks' time, 2 weeks today. We're being told they're all playing the grand final, the 2K buy-in, 2 weeks today. Also being told that Jack Oliver is taking a break, is going on a bit of a holiday after his amazing third place in the main event at the World Series. And you never know, we might see him next year. Fingers crossed we'll get a chance to speak to him at some point. And who's to say, when you look at the likes of Chris and Ewan and Jack, all used to play the £30 student championships, who's to say they don't come back in the future? Because if that's the kind of players that the student championships are making them into fantastic poker players, obviously they've had lessons and they talk to each other and they make the game better, but the results speak for themselves for all three of them. You never know. Nice one, Simon. Jamie Nixon has made day 2 of the $800 deep stack, restarting later today. I know Rob Cowan is chip leader in the 3K PLO that's going on as we speak, with 24 left. Rob will be playing this event, if not in Vegas. Do a lot of British high stakes online guys play this, or does live have its own group of guys? Yeah, online feeds down to a few. I would say online feeds down a few players, but a lot of players do play live as well as online. Yeah, we're sorry about that, Paul. A bit cross wires there. We class the main event as a normal 12.50, don't we? But obviously, the main event for this festival is the grand final, the last event of the year for the team. But yeah, they will be here in a couple of weeks' time for the 2K buy-in, which could potentially have a $750,000 prize pool. Paul Siddle with a gutter ball on the 7, 8 of diamonds with a 3, 4, 5 queen board. Dan Sean with the Cowboys, that's 6.5. Hard to see Paul calling a quarter of his stack for a gutter ball. Won the first ever online GUKPT, did Paul Siddle. Won the 7 o'clock free roll because he's not in your bankroll. Well, eventually, put all them free roll wins together and you never know. There could be a G400 just round the corner. Heading towards the dinner break. 10 minutes to go until the end of this session and a 60-minute break. Here's 10 for Dan, raised up. Raised to 800. All folding round in turn, and that should do it. Raise and take from Dan Charlton. Oh no, says Kamal, not with a 9-3. I'm defending 9-3. Not folding anything to anybody. That certainly hits Dan Charlton more than he does Kamal. That will do it. Down up to 50,000. Fingers crossed for a really deep run from Dan Charlton. Last 10 minutes of the level, and last 10 minutes of the session, and then a 60-minute break. New table. In fact, new table's just been handed to me. And James Aikenhead is going to be playing the main event. James, who we were talking about, because Antoine's out in seat number 5, final table, the World Series main event and the World Series Poker Europe main event in the same year, 2009, and so did James Aikenhead. James is playing. Adam Wilkinson's going to be on the feature, and Wadey, who won his seat last night in the cash out satellite, was the last man in and the first man out. Unbelievable. He came in at the last level and he was first to get a seat an hour later. We're going to be seeing Big C again. Ewan Jones is on the building. Oh hey, Ewan Jones is going to be playing on the feature table as well. Come out of retirement as Ewan Jones. He said it was Tricky Trev's not been too well, but he's might be down for the grand final, which would be good to see. Trev Reardon, big TR. That'll be good to see him. So that's on the feature table for levels 5 and 6 after the 60-minute break, which is heading our way. Sixes for Moore Camber, sat in seat number 8. Aria's thinking of a raise, which he does to 2.5. Oh, Bav coming in. This could just be the lot. There's 4,000 in the middle already. This could be it. We could just think, yeah, have some of that. Certainly don't think he's 4-bet folding. No, it's just a raise. Right down to Aria with the ace jack. Yeah, gets out of the way, correct way, gets out of the way. Is Oliver White still on James Aikenhead's table? No, he's not. The name Oliver White is not on the list. Whether he got moved to balance the tables or whether he got eliminated, I'm not sure. But Oliver White is not on the same table. It could be James that moved. James Aikenhead might have moved tables. But unfortunately, Oliver White will not be on the feature table for level number 5. Is that Frankie the XT side in the background? Yes it is. Part of the floor staff now for the GUKPT. Bit of paint being shown there. I still can't understand why you can't keep the card. I never understood that. You're at a disadvantage. Before looking at your second card, you should ask the player, do you want to keep it? Why not? I don't understand that. I like the idea of giving the player the option. Don't look at your second card. Do you like that king of clubs or not? Well, yeah, I'll keep it, thanks. You're at a disadvantage, we know that, but why not? So we get a message from the action tracker. So the Undertaker, and he says that the cards stopped registering for some reason, and we didn't get to see the last 2 hands of the session. So unfortunately, we're going to guess a hand. Because obviously when the cards are not showing, it won't show the flop. Because it doesn't think there's a card in hand. It's not that bad. So whatever it was, whatever the reason was, our action tracker, Mr. Simon Spence, told us there was a slight problem. We see a flop of 10-6-6. The last couple of hands of the session, we don't see the hole cards. But yeah, Frankie's on the floor. Part of the T-side job now. He did part of the GUKPT setup. He also does 30-30s, or the G400s as they now are, and the 25-25s. The action tracker's gone for dinner early. Which dinner? He has about 4. He is actually still action tracking because obviously the sides of the bets still get inputted. It's just that whatever happened with the cards, they just weren't showing for whatever reason. So the bet sizes are still there. Simon is still there. But we are on the last hand of the session, so it will get sorted out for the next session, which we will return at 5:55 because it's very close. It is. It's 5:54. I hope. That's a good look from Jay. We'll take that one. I think that's because there you go. It is. That must be the camera problem that we had with the table.
You have a problem
because
too.
well, obviously I now know that I'm speaking and Jay's looking like that as if to say, "What's he done with him?" So Jay's looking like that, but the comms cam has froze, which means we can't stick my ugly mug on. Which is good for you lot. But we are heading towards the dinner break and the picture will get sorted out by the time we return. As you can see, everybody else is leaving. We were only going to say goodbye, but Jay's there, look. There he is. I don't know why I'm not there. No, I'm not. So, must have been tea time. I'd have been collecting the tea for the lad. But this will be the last hand of the session, and we know there's no cards, but the action tracker is still inputting the bet sizing. Antoine Sout is going to play the last hand. Jail just looks like he's just flopped a set. Love it. So everybody else who's not in the hand leaves the table, meaning it's 5-5. It's Friday. It's 5-5. It's Crackerjack. Absolutely, Ricky Kebabs has nailed it. Or in Tim's version, it's 5-5. It's Friday. It's Mark Kelly's time. So Antoine Sout and Stephen O'Keefe involved in the final hand. 8 deuce, 10. King of Diamonds on the river. Does it bring a flush to anybody? So a bet from Antoine. How much have we got left? I've got about 7k left. Stephen O'Keefe, we a bet of 2.5. Looks like a call's coming in for the final hand of this sesh. Fortunately, unable to see the cards, we know that. He might just have something like King Queen or King Jack, but taps the table. Antoine Sout shows him a bluff, and that's it. I'd like to say we'll show you camera, but Jay's still looking right there. We will see you 9-6, and there's the old bluff. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you back at 5:55. Full set of cameras working and the cards, and we will be back after the 60-minute break. See you then, kids.
Only had someone to hang out with, and yeah, no complaints really.
You've been in Vegas a couple of years, all right?
Yeah, like on and off. I kind of split my time between traveling the circuit still, and yeah, and like staying here.
Brilliant stuff. We're going to start basically at the beginning, because
Okay.
how did you learn? Where did you first start playing poker, and when was it?
God, feels like a lifetime ago now. Guess it was like I was at university at Essex University studying economics, not doing too hot, like kind of failing. I was getting distracted. Like at the time, I was getting distracted by pool. I'd always played pool growing up, and then we at university I joined the pool club. We had a pretty good team. We played in the national championships every year, and I guess this was it was up in Derby, I think, the national championships, and we'd gone to Derby, played that year. I think it was my first year at university. And on the way home, one of my friends saw in like the student newspaper about this free tournament on Victor Chandler poker that all students could play. It was free to buy in, and the winner would get. I think the winner got the equivalent of about $500, but they also got a seat in this big live tournament in London. So me and my friends didn't even know the rules of poker at this point, but we decided, okay, we'll give it a spin. It's free to enter. It was on a Monday night, so there was not much going on campus that night. So me and my like 4 flatmates went on Yahoo, because it wasn't even Google back then. We went on Yahoo, printed out a set of rules, started playing amongst ourselves with like two pence coins, and yeah, just played the free roll every week. And first sort of 5 or 6 times did absolutely nothing, kind of thing, and lost every hand. And then I actually came second one week for like $120. Obviously, I was gutted to come second because I missed out on the live seat, but still $120 was good money to me. I was a broke student. So now I had the dilemma of whether I cash out and sort of take my money and run, or sort of play around with it and see what happened. And I was really 50-50. I kept asking everyone because I didn't want to be determined as a gambler, kind of thing. And in the end, I just decided to sort of have fun with it. And yeah, it went from there, really.
You've turned into, obviously, the early days of poker, you've turned into the number one, an absolute phenom. We've looked back at your pocket fives. Do you know exactly or roughly how many online cashes you've got on pocket fives? There might even be more that's not been on there, but would you like to have a guess?
God, I don't know, like maybe 10,000. I don't know.
It's just 11,594. That's to date.
So that's a lot of poker, yeah. A lot.
That's a lot of poker. That's a lot of cashes, by the way.
Yeah.
That's a lot of cashes. Your first on there is 5th for 13,000 in July 2006. I'm not being funny. That's 14 years ago.
Yeah, that's not a bad first cash either, right?
where is he? Apart from the years, where have they gone? 13,000 as a first cash. Was it instantly, this is going to be bankroll, or are we just going to squander it?
Well, actually, it's kind of funny because I'd been playing poker for quite a long time at that point, and I was playing mainly cash games on the Victor Chandler site.
Yeah.
And it was the first. The site got shut down. It was I can't remember what the exact act it was called under, but it got shut down. And I only really played on that site at the time. It's quite a small site, but I knew everyone. I had like my all stats on everyone. I was just a cash game player, played a few tournaments on the side. And I was like, okay, I'm going to have to move sites. But I was really reliant on my HUD back in the day, which is kind of funny because I don't really use it anymore. But yeah, so I was like, okay, I can't play on, like the big sites at the time, Full Tilt and Poker Stars on the cash games there without having all my database set up. And I didn't really know much how to, do all that kind of stuff. So I had to wait for my friend at university to be free, and he had exams that week. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do? I haven't got, can't take a week off poker. I was addicted to it. So I was like, okay, I'll just dabble in a couple of these tournaments. Played like this Sunday online tournaments that I hadn't really played before on the sites, because I was like, okay, well, I don't need my database for this. And I played them, and I was like shocked at how much worse the players were in the tournaments and the cash games. And obviously I had that 13K score that day. I came fifth, I think, or something like that in the big full tilt Sunday tournament. And from there, I was kind of hooked on the tournaments. I really enjoyed just the different dynamics, different stages of the tournament. And before that, I'd just been playing cash game, kind of building my bankroll. I'd done pretty well, but the games were starting to get a bit stale, because, you know, cash games, you always feel like you have to keep moving up and up when you're doing well. And I didn't really want the swings of, you know, even if you're the best player in the world, you're playing big cash games, you're going to have crazy swings. So yeah, I just got hooked on tournaments. And then even when I got my buddy to set it all back up, I tried to start playing cash games again, and it just wasn't the same. And yes, that's how I really started, really, because at that point I'd been playing cash for maybe over a year and been doing well. But obviously, cash and tournaments, there's different, you know, levels of. I was just going under the radar kind of thing.
Did you multi-table? Was it mad? Did you have screens absolutely everywhere?
Oh yeah, I was one of the biggest multi-tablers. I was just like, you know, my philosophy was like, if you're not in it, you can't win it. But like, also I didn't really have a timeout and stuff. I was 99% of the decisions were like real quick for me. I was always been amazing at maths, like one of my strongest point. And so like I just would put different tournaments on, you know, I had like 2 screens, and I'd put them at different parts of the screen, which ones were important to me, which ones were getting deep. And so I just did it like that, and I played, you know, would pay more attention to the ones that were obviously deep in the tournament, and I would late register a lot of tournaments so that I just didn't miss the tournament, but I could still play and just come in a bit later when the blinds are bigger.
Yeah. So basically, it more or less gave you the impetus that this was the career and this was it. What were the parents like? What were the family like, or did you keep them under the radar for a year or two?
Well, yeah, kind of pretty funny. Maybe a year or 2 or 10 almost. No, no. Well, because what happened was I was playing at university and sort of going to less and less of my lectures, doing really well. At first, it was just sort of a bit of fun, and then I was making some serious money, and I was like, wow, maybe I can do this for a career. And then it almost got to the point where I had to do it for a career, because I basically had to drop out of university because I got so far behind. I tried to stop playing and, you know, catch up with my studies, do my dissertations, which is like 10,000 word document on your subject. But yeah, I just couldn't get past the first sentence, really. So I went into the I went into the like dean of the university and told him that I was gonna sort of leave my degree, and he was like, "Oh, what are you gonna do?" And I told him poker, and he kind of laughed in my face. And the only person I really told outside my friends was my sister, and I kind of was my younger sister, and I got her to because I had to confide in someone. And I knew my parents wouldn't, you know, probably jump at the chance their son's going to be a gambler and play poker. But at this stage, I didn't even know if I could do it myself. I was, you know, I'd had a few good months and stuff, but yeah, I didn't know if it was sustainable. So yeah, I just grinded. Stayed at university. A couple of my friends were in a lower year than me, so I just stayed on the campus and played a lot of poker. Just took up all the information I could and got better and better, and paid off all my student loans. And then in the end, when at the end of my university, I kind of I ended up making up that I passed my degree essentially, which. But I went for I basically said I got a third, which is at the lowest pass possible. So they kind of believed me, my parents. But obviously I didn't have a degree to go and get a job. So I had to tell them, you know, that I wanted to give poker a try, and they were very skeptical. But my dad gave me, he'd seen that I paid off all my student loans. So obviously they were happy about that I didn't have any debts and stuff, and I had some money in the bank. And he like wrote down every sort of, all the money I had in every poker site, like had all my bank account details, everything. And he gave me 6 months to see how much, you know, essentially I'd increased my bankroll in that 6 months to see if it was sustainable to live on and stuff. So that 6 months, you know, at the time, I guess I was like 20, 21 years old. And I was just like, all my friends are going out on a Friday night, and I was just like, I've got to stay in and play poker. Like I have to play every day to just, you know, make sure I hit enough money where my dad's going to be impressed and let me do this as a career, not send me back to school kind of thing. So I really didn't want to go back. And yeah, luckily those 6 months went really well. I qualified for the my first ever World Series at that point, got smoked there. So that was a bad start because obviously, you know, Vegas always gets you, do a bunch of money there. So then I had to grind it back even harder. And yeah, that 6 months went well and just kind of went from there, really. But it wasn't actually until my second book came out where I like kind of said some of these stories and stuff that my parents didn't know. I never told them that I hadn't got my degree until like 2 or 3 years ago. So yeah, I had to break the news just before the book came out. But luckily, yeah, it all worked out in the end.
Your first few live tournaments, your first Ending Mob, 124th in the World Series 2K for 4,056. That was June 2008.
Right.
What was it like playing in Vegas for the first time? And how did you find it good at Vegas? Because obviously you played a lot online. So playing live to playing online, did you just have the complete contrast and thought this is just as easy as playing online?
No, far from it. And to be fair, that, like, you know, that's my first tournament cash, but I'd played quite a few tournaments before that and not even cashed. Yeah, as I said, I'd gone to I think it was the 2000, maybe the 2007 World Series, or maybe it was 2006, which was the one that Jamie Gold won. It was that one. It was
2000. That was 2006.
Okay, so I played that one, and obviously you just said that my first cash was in 2008, so I'd obviously played a few tournaments in between as well. But I stuck to sort of what was my bread and butter, playing online. And if I satellite into a tournament online, I'd go and play the live tournament. But yeah, I didn't have much live experience, and it was quite a different game to me, just like dealing, you know, just so many differences. So it definitely took a lot of time for me to get used to it. Even like the first sort of 3 years after I cashed, I never really cashed anything big, like compared to what the buy-ins were. I was definitely a losing player at live poker to begin with. And just trial and error, really, and like just perseverance. And then, you know, I think it was 2011, it all kind of clicked for me. And it wasn't even that I was doing anything that different compared to before in live poker, but you know, I was just winning the key flips, winning the key hands, had a little bit of extra confidence to go with my read and stuff. And yeah, I think in 2011, I sort of had a breakout year in live poker and actually started showing that I could be a winning player live as well as online, rather than before, where I was just sort of winning online. And then every time I played a live tournament, never cash in or min cash in, never make the final table. So yeah, it was quite a transformation.
Well, the first time we ever met was
a long time ago.
It was the same year, 2008. It was Luton, the GUKPT. You finished 17th out of 376 entries. Can you remember who won it?
Yeah, of course, cricket. Yeah, I gave him all the chips as well. With like 17 left, I started his career for sure. And it was funny because the night before we'd met, I think we'd been staying at the same hotel, and they had a pool table, and he's really good at pool, and I play a lot of pool, as I already said. So we played a few games of pool. I was chatting to him, and actually he's and his friend, who actually I knew more than Sam at the time, Pete Linton. And then we happened to both go deep in the tournament, and we played a huge hand. And my friends still make fun of me for this hand to this day. And you're actually in the background. I could hear you in the middle of the hand with your loud, booming voice. And it was like, I think it was a 3-bet pot, and I had a pair of queens, and I think it came like 2, 3, 4. So like pretty safe flop. And Sam check called, and then turn was a 5, so pretty bad card for me. Obviously, any ace makes a straight now, but then the river was a queen, and so I now made top set, and Sam shoved all into me, and in my head I was like, you know, like in this spot he never really, he either has an ace or he's turning like pair of 9s or pair of 8s into a bluff, and I thought he was capable enough to do it, so I ended up calling. I didn't like it was back in the day when people didn't really call free bets out of position very much. I was, especially when online, like I was used to people just folding or four bet. Maybe live poker, was quite different. But I basically thought if he had ace king, he would have been all in before the flop. So I didn't put him on an ace king. And if he had ace queen, I blocked, and there wasn't many combinations left of that because I had two queens. And so ace jack offsuit, I thought he would fold before flop. And so yeah, I ended up calling him because I thought he was turning like a sevens, eights, nines, tens, all into a bluff. And yeah, he just had ace jack. And I looked very silly, and it was a huge pot. And I just remember behind me, you were saying something about, Chris Moore has called and he can't even beat an ace. Oh wow, needle as well as I'm walking up. But yeah, that was my first big sort of deep run in a good tournament. So it was exciting for sure. But yeah, it was definitely very memorable as well.
Sam got the trophy. He did indeed.
Yeah, I used to use my chips wisely.
But in 2008, it wasn't all bad because he became the world's #1 for the very first time. Had you been chasing it? Was this something that you obviously you're keeping control of what you were doing online? You were knowing you were there. You were top 10, top 5, #1. What did it mean?
At the time, it meant everything to me. It's like what I'd sort of devoted the last sort of few years of my life to. I was playing poker at that stage way more than even now. Like I was playing 6, 7, sometimes 7 days a week, every week, all day, long days. But like to me, it didn't feel long. Like the hours went so fast. I was really enjoying it. I loved the game. I was just learning all the time, getting better. And so it wasn't like, to me, it wasn't the job. I was just doing what I love doing. So, but yeah, once I discovered pocket fives and saw the rankings, obviously you start at the bottom in the thousands, and I was like always wanted to get into the top 100, so I could start talking. Like my thing was like I wanted to talk strategy with the other sort of top players, but I didn't want to message them before they were while they were ranked higher than me, because I thought they wouldn't accept talking to me, kind of thing. So I was like, okay, once I'm in the top 100, I can chat to this guy and message him. And so I kept like moving up, and it gave me incentives to keep moving up. And then obviously, like making #1, we always thought, oh wow, maybe, you dreamed of it, but you didn't think it was possible. But then, suddenly you start making top 20, you think, wow, I could maybe do this if I run good for a couple of months, win a big one. And yeah, so to finally get there was an amazing feeling. It felt like a real accomplishment, And like at the end of the day, like the rankings, a lot of it was playing. You had to play a lot to get up there because of the volume thing. But normally, if you were, it was like to get #1, you had to be doing well as well. So it was definitely a sign that I sort of was being successful as well.
Yeah, I think one of the first videos we'd done, and we've obviously, because we've been in lockdown, we've been rerunning some of the videos on Grosvenor and the GUKPT. You were sat talking with Adam Clark from Blackpool, Clarkatroid.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, good guy.
Yeah, I think you said in the interview you just dropped away from #1, but you were going to get it back. So it was a fantastic interview. There were no chin hair.
Yeah, no.
We'll try and dig it out for you and send a link, because it was a fantastic video. You and Clark were just bouncing off each other, because obviously you knew a lot about him playing so much volume online.
Yeah, I think that was the first time I met him as well. So I sort of played him online. So that's always exciting when you got to meet people in real life after you played a lot against them online and stuff. And it was weird. Like even though you sort of didn't know each other that well, like you kind of, if you felt like you knew each other for years, kind of thing. Like I met a few of, even at my wedding, like a couple of guys who are like in my groomsmen party. I met them through, I met them 10 plus years ago through poker, and we've stayed close friends ever since.
Yeah. Now we can't not have an interview with Chris Moorman and talking about the father in the GUKPT circuit.
Yeah, he'll be like, why
in Manchester. This is one of the greatest little stories of a GUKPT title. I do believe it was a birthday present. Is that correct?
Yeah, belated birthday present, because I was at the time I was living in Australia, and my dad's birthday is on Valentine's Day, and so I didn't get back till, I guess I got back from Australia in like March, so it was a month after my dad's birthday, and I was like, oh, what do you want for your birthday? And he was like, oh, it's gone now. You missed it. Blah blah blah, moaning. So I was like, come on, give me an idea. And then I actually came up with an idea. I was like, how about this? I'm gonna he was playing a bit of poker, just on online, but low stakes. He'd only really ever played one live tournament before, and that was a £10 rebuy at Southend Casino. So a little bit different. But I was like, how about this? I'm going to go up and play this tournament in Manchester. It's £1,000 to buy in. I'll buy you in, and like we can work out maybe like a backing deal or something. I'll buy you in, and no pressure. We both play the tournament and go up. Have like a father and son bonding weekend kind of thing, and just have a good time and have fun with it. And he was a bit reluctant at first because he didn't want to embarrass me, and he'd never really played live, so he was a bit nervous. But in the end, he agreed to go, and that was good for me as well because I don't drive, so he gave me a lift up there.
Ulterior motive.
Yeah, it was an expensive Uber, but whatever. No. So anyway, we both played the tournament. This was at the stage as well where still dusting hard in live poker, never done anything good. And so I'm thinking, okay, this could be the one for me. And anyway, we get to first break, and he's enjoying meeting everyone. He's meeting all the lads, kind of thing that he's sort of followed online because he really enjoyed railing me and stuff like that. So he met Trig, a few of the other boys. And on first break, we were all chatting, you know, how everyone does. Oh, I'm up to this chip stack or whatever. And he's tripled up. I don't even know how. He must have been getting out of line for sure. But I was like, okay, you need to chill out. Like, you've got some chips now. Just play patient. It's a long tournament. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So I was trying to coach him on breaks. And yeah, after day one, we both made it through, and we were both actually top 10 in chips. So that was really kind of exciting. So like, we're up for a few hours at night, sort of chatting like two mates kind of thing, adrenaline's pumping, trying to get some sleep before day two. And then day two comes about, and I ended up losing a big hand. I actually get knocked out 5 before the money, so I was a bit gutted because I was thinking, oh, this is my tournament kind of thing. But I regrouped, went to the bar, got a few beers with a few of the guys, and then went to rail my dad because he was still in. And you know, at first he just wanted to make the money, he had a decent stack. And then after that, though, he really wanted to make the final table, and that's where it kind of started going a little bit wrong because he started changing his game, and he played too tight, and he was blinding out, and he got down short. And I tried to tell him on the break, okay, if you get anything, you're going to be big blind after the break. If you get anything in the big blind, just go with it. You know, you're only down to like 8 big blinds or something like that, I think. Yeah, so it's like anything half decent, king 9, whatever, go with it if it's a late position open. And folded to the legend of UK poker, Surinder Sarnar, on the button, and he was chip leader at the time, so he was playing very aggressive, like raising every hand. No one was really playing back at him, and he's 3.5x it on the button like everyone did back then. And my dad was in the big blind. He pushed all his chips in like Phil Helmer style. I was like, okay, I'm on the round, like saying, "No, he's got a good one here. That's good, yes." And then Surinder's in the tank because he's probably pot committed at this stage, made it 3.5 big blinds. My dad only had like 8 big blinds, but obviously he's not got a good hand by the way he's tanking. So I'm like, okay, we're going to be in good shape here. And he finally calls, and they flip over the cards, and Surinder had like Jack 5 off, and I was like, oh wow, hopefully my dad's got like him dominated, like jacks, queens, like ace jack, something like that. Yeah. And my dad just proudly flipped over his 10-6 offsuit. I was just like, what the fuck? And then before I knew it, they just dealt the flop, and it came 7-8-9. He just flopped the straight. And he was like, "Yeah, I told you, I knew." He's like, and then he doubled up there, and he just like turned into a new person. He just like went back to his old self, just going like playing every hand, and got to the final table, and everyone else was trying to ladder up, play ICM, and my dad was just going for it, putting them in a coffin, and ended up getting heads up, and yeah, the rest is history. Like, it was crazy because I was watching. It was so weird watching on the rail because it was out of my control. I couldn't, it was down to him, and I was so nervous for him. But yeah, for him to get the win was just really a fairy tale. And then it kind of like the reality sunk in, because then he started giving me shit for having a bigger cash for the next year of my life. I had to like focus more on live poker because I was like, I can't have this for forever. Everyone in me is to tell them that I was a professional poker player, but he had a bigger cash than me. So yeah.
Well, he finished 13th in the Champion of Champions as well, and that's his only 2-ender mob. Like, that's the only 2 cash he's got on the ender mob. The Champion of Champions are winning the GUKPT.
No, he always says, I've probably got one of the highest ROIs in live poker, like, because you know, he didn't really start playing much. He played like one World Series poker event, like a 1500. He got some of the boys to buy a piece of him when he came over to see me in Vegas one year. And I think that's about it, really. So he's played like 3 or 4 live tournaments ever, cashed 2 of them and won one. I was like, must be nice. And then he always tells me whenever I go and see him, I go to his house to play online or whatever, and he's playing online as well. And he'll be moaning about all these bad beats he's getting. He's saying, I'm the unluckiest poker player ever. And I'm just like, you do realize how good you ran to win that tournament? Like the tournament was like 100 times the average by him, but yeah.
Brilliant! It was a fantastic story, and something we have actually mentioned it quite a few times. Whenever you do pop up and we're on the live stream, and we do mention yourself, and you've won something big, and we just have to quickly mention that the story of your dad is just, to me, it is one of the nicest and best stories of while we've done the GUKPTs. It really is.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like, even, you know, all the highs and lows that I've had in poker, like, it's still like my most memorable moment. It wasn't even involving me directly. Like, it was just surreal. It was, yeah, such a great day.
You touched on Australia. The Aussie Millions in 2011, 721 entries, final table, 7th for 173k. Were you a bit disappointed, or pretty pleased that you finished 7th out of such a massive field?
Mainly happy because, like, that was the first time I've ever at that point made a big live final table, so it's such a buzz. And also, like, I was free rolling anyway, because on day one I was chatting with Toby Lewis, and he was kind of mugging off my live game, and I asked him to put his money where his mouth is, so he gave me 5-2, I think, on making day 2 of the tournament, because in that tournament it's quite hard to make day 2. It's a long day 1. But I was like, okay, I'm going to do good in this 20. He was like, no, you're not. I'm not swapping you or whatever. And I was like, what the, you know? So we had a bet. So I was like, what's your max amount? And he said 5k. So I bet max amount 5k at 5-2 that I make day 2, and made day 2 of a good stack. Actually, it was kind of stupid of me. Like, you know, most people, if they got that much money running on it, more than the buying of the tournament, would sort of, you know, play tight near the end of the day. But I was telling my whole table that I had this bet. So then I was just pretending I had basically had the nuts every hand and just re-raising them and going crazy. Even on the last hand of the day, John Eames was on my table, and he knew about the bet, and he raised under the gun. And, you know, we always give John shit for being a tight player. He's raised under the gun. He's the only person who covers me at the table. I've locked it up. There's no need to get involved. And I just see King 4 suited in the calf, and I had to free bet him and, you know, start barreling away, but he folded on the turn. So I was like, but I had absolutely nothing as well. So I showed him there, and he was just like, you're an idiot. But yeah, so I won the bet, and then made a deep run in the tournament. It was really fun. That tournament goes 6 max as well, which is my favorite game, with like on the final couple of days. So yeah, it was really cool. There was made the final table actually with James Keys, like well-known UK, blast from the past, and Patrick Antonius is on the final table as well, and I tried to bluff him. That was my big downfall. Tried to fight. To be fair, he tanked for a couple of minutes with trips, so it couldn't have been that bad a bluff. So I was trying to get him to fold a little bit of a worse hand than that. But yeah, so it was believable. But yeah, that was where it all started going wrong for me. And like, but you know, like, still, it was a great score and an amazing experience. And you know, my friends were there watching and stuff, so it gave me the live poker bug and made me want to play more.
You said 2011 was probably the breakout year for yourselves. When you go to the World Series, you've just said that 6 max is probably your best game. 3rd out of 1,378 for 271, and also cashed in the 5k 6 max, finishing 11th. Incredible scores. And then 12 days later, so these 3 events are just going on and on and on. You just missed out on a Bracelet, 2nd out of 474 in the 6 max 10k. 3 massive scores, but obviously the Bracelet and the runner-up. Was that a highlight low at the time?
No, definitely a highlight. Like, the Bracelet didn't, like, obviously it would have been nice, but it didn't mean as much to me then as it would a couple of years later kind of thing. Like, I was just happy to finally, you know, I've been going every year and sort of losing money and then having to get it back online afterwards. And now like have, you know, like the buzz of the final table, all your friends watching, all the British rail chanting. It was just, I just wanted to do well and not go out, you know, first on the final table, make it deep. And the first one, you know, the 2.5K 6 Max came third, was just that was, I think, like one of the first rails where everyone was doing shoe bombs and just drinking, which, you know, like to anyone who doesn't know, is drinking beer.
There.
Yeah, drinking beer out their shoe and going crazy. And I remember actually had like kind of fucked me over on one hand because we were 3 left. And I played this hand where I was in the 9 seat and the guy I was playing was in the 1 seat. I don't know why we didn't all move around. But I couldn't really see him in the hand. So, which didn't really bother me because like live poker, I kind of wanted to hide anyway. Still at this stage, I wasn't looking for reads on my opponents. And I've opened ace-2 blind on blind. And he's called and I was kind of short step. And it came king 5-4, and so I got gut shot and I bet. And he raised. And to me at the time as well, it didn't really make much sense. I felt like he was weak. And I was like, okay, whatever. If he's got king, he's got king. I got an ace or 3 to hit. So I shoved all in, and he tanked for ages. So I'm like, okay, he would have called already if he had a king. So I thought it was going to fold for sure. And like the rails chanting, and then like out of nowhere, there's like a big cheer. So I wasn't even looking. I was just staring at the felt, just doing my thing that I did every time. And I just assumed that he'd folded because they were like cheering that I was chipped the pot. And someone said, show the deuce. And I was like, wow, there's not very often you get the chance to do this. So I just sort of looked across and flipped over the deuce. And then as I'm flipping over, I realized he still had cards. And then now there was another, I'm like, oh no, now what the hell? Like, what's going on here? And then he tanked for another minute. And then he called me with ace deuce. So then we chopped the hand. But like, obviously, I don't know what was going on in the whole hand, to be honest. But yeah, we ended up chopping that hand, but obviously it could have all been different. But no, overall, I was really happy with the results. Like, tough tournaments as well. The 10K 6 Max was a very tough tournament. I got heads up against the player. I played online a lot at the time, so it wasn't someone that I felt like I had a big edge against. And we played a marathon match, had to come back the next day and finish it off. But yeah, it just didn't work out for me in either of those at the end. But I was still really happy just to be cashing and making runs and final tables. It just felt unreal, you know. It was almost like back to when I first started playing online and started winning. It was back to that feeling because it had been so long in live poker that I'd been playing and not really doing anything. So to finally start making runs was just an amazing feeling. It was kind of better than if I'd have just come straight into live poker and started winning instantly. It wouldn't have been nearly the same rush.
Well, you obviously 2011, and it is just such a fantastic year for yourself, and it'll always be etched in the memory. But it was the first time that the World Series Poker Europe wasn't in London. It moved to Cannes in France. And second again.
Yeah, I worked on a heads up game. Nah, this was crazy as well because I kind of felt like I had massive unfinished business in this tournament because when it was at the Empire Casino in London, one of my first big live poker runs, like it was a really long tournament as well. We were on, I think it was day 4, and we still weren't in the money. But I had a big stack on the bubble, and I was feeling really good, really confident. And even like one of the guys at my table went to the bar just so they could cash. So, you know, there was a weird dynamic where we're just, you know, that blind sitting out. So me and Johnny Lodden had big chips and we were both taking it in turns. Kind of there was a mutual agreement almost, but hadn't really clashed yet. But we were both the most aggressive players at the table, building up our stacks. And I was basically, you know, like 99 times out of 100, I'm going to cash in this spot. And let alone, like, I felt like over 50% of the time I'm going to final table because only 27 people cash. So once you're in the money, you know, you got a real shot at making it, especially because I had over 100 big blinds. And we go on dinner break, like free off the money. A bunch of my friends came down, just sort of sweat the tournament. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to cash for at least, I think min cash was real decent, like maybe like £30,000. So it was huge. And I was like, okay, I'll just shout everyone a steak dinner. So we go for a nice steak dinner on dinner break, like 10 of us. Buy everyone dinner, no big deal. I'm going to cash for 30K. Come back. I get kings on the big blind. Kings when the guy in the big blind's not even there. And Johnny Lawton raises, and I'm like, wow, this is going to look bullshit from me, especially like with our history. So he's raised, I've re-raised, he's re-raised. I'm just like, you know, so happy. Not even a thought in the world that I could ever be beat. We end up getting in. He just had aces, and my heart sunk. And I actually had him covered by about 20 big blinds. So I still had, you know, still hopefully I can cash and, you know, maybe I can run it back up. But like, obviously I'm a bit demoralized and a bit shook up. And I played this hand where this guy 3x'd it under the gun, this Scandinavian guy, but everyone 3x back then. And I pocket nines, and he'd been in enough hands, and I decided, I'm not going to fold the cash. I'm going to go for it here, and I'll just go all in. But in my head, I was like, okay, I'm just going to re-raise half my stack because it will look stronger than going all in. I don't know. Weird theory back then. And I've misclicked. So I've min re-raised him. And he's like, how much more? And like, you know, he's made 10K and they're like 6K more. So I was like, oh my God. Just kind of trying to keep a straight face. And he like tanks for a bit and then he calls. I'm like, okay, just come a low flop. Just comes ace, king, queen. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. But like, obviously, you know, I got to still try and win it a bit. So I fired out a bet and he tanked for ages and someone called the clock on him. I'm like, okay, he's going to fold. And I'm trying to like project that I've got trip aces here to him, you know, like stay away. And then anyway, after like max time bank, he shoves all in. So then I have to fold that and I'm down to 10 big blinds, find a pair, shove, get called by ace king, lose the flip, and I'm out one off the money. And, you know, trying to avoid the cameras or trying to do an interview, make out the back exit out the empire, managed to avoid that. But yeah, I was kind of gutted, you know, I almost wanted to burst into tears. It was like one of the lowest moments in poker. At that time, I think that was 2007, I think it was the one. John Joanda one. So like, yeah, you know, this was, or maybe it's 2008, but I'd never had a live cash over 10K.
And that won in 2007.
Okay, yeah, so it's 2008. So literally, like you said, my first cash was 2008, and so now this would have been like my third cash. I could have won the tournament for over, you know, like 1.5 million or whatever it was for first. I don't even know, but yeah, I ended up playing for 4 days and got nothing. And then there was EPT London the next week. I was so over it, I wasn't even going to play though, so I didn't plan on playing that. And I've actually woke up on the day, and I've woke up at 9 a.m., which I never did because, you know, I was always playing online all through the night. I woke up randomly at 9 a.m., took it as a sign to go and play that tournament because I was like, I'm never normally up at this time. So I went and got on the waiting list, played the tournament, bubbled that one as well. And that was when I actually, me and All In Stevie and Paul Fulton, we all went to, I told them, all right, I don't want to play online poker for a while, no poker. So we went to Ayia Napa and had like a 3-week holiday there. Didn't even take my laptop. And that's like basically the longest break I ever took from poker. But yeah, I was on life tilt after those 2 tournaments. So especially the first one, it was the worst. So I always thought like I had unfinished business in the Europe main event. Like the actual WSOP main event just seems so unattainable because you have to beat thousands of players. Whereas this one, you know, the field size is a lot smaller, like 500 normally. But, you know, it's a much tougher tournament. But I felt like this one was more winnable and a great structure. And I just was like, every year I was pumped for the tournament. So, yeah, it was to make a run at it was really cool.
$2.3 million live in 2011, and you were still number 1 online.
Yeah,
how do we even juggle these two to stay ahead of the game while you were number 1 online? Because that was just a fantastic year for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I didn't do a lot other than play poker. Like, actually, it was the start of 2012 that I realized that, you know, I needed a bit more life balance. And I sort of New Year's resolutions, I hit up Jason Kuhn in Facebook chat, and I'd sort of just been eating really bad, put on a ton of weight, like just through poker, and I was feeling bad about myself. Like, even though I was doing amazing at poker online and live, feeling really good about that, I just wasn't feeling great about life outside of poker. So that's, I think, like why I kind of almost dived into poker even more, because that was the only thing that was giving me happiness. So I kind of, start of the year, you know, everyone gets New Year's resolutions. I was like, okay, I need to make some changes here. So I kind of, on a whim, hit him up and said, oh, I was living in Cyprus with some of my horses after Black Friday at that point. And I was like, well, do you fancy coming to Cyprus, and I'll back you for some EPTs and stuff, and if you'll sort of be my personal trainer and chef. It's like kind of like a trade-off, because I knew he was like the healthiest guy in poker. And so I kind of just, at the time in my head, I did it to like make myself, at least I'm trying. I didn't think he'd jump at the idea or anything. I just thought, at least I can tell myself that I'm trying to make a change. And then he was like straight away, he was like, okay, I booked the flight. I'm then in 3 days time. I was like, oh shit.
I've got to do this.
At the deep end, I went from like not going to the gym for sort of 10 years to going like pretty much every day, and not, he was cooking clean food. And I had like 2012, I think in the first 6 months, I ended up losing like 50 pounds or something. So it was a big change, and something that I really needed, because it was getting, it was one of those things that I had let it slip so much that it seemed like it was unattainable, and I was never going to do it myself. So I needed to kick up the backside kind of thing. So yeah.
Awesome. We've got 30 online Triple Crowns. Now, for people out there that don't know what an online Triple Crown is, just tell them how good you actually are. What is the Triple Crown?
It's pretty easy, really. You just have to win three tournaments with a 10K prize pool, and you have to have over 100 people in them. But in a week, but they have to be all on different sites as well. So that's the harder part. Is, if you're playing every day, you play a lot of tournaments, so you can win 3 tournaments in a week. Not too, it's not too out of the ordinary, but winning 3 on different sites, a lot of time you get the first 2, like Poker Stars, pretty easy one to get, because you're playing a lot of volume on there, and then you get the first 2, and then it would be really hard to win the third one, because you'd only have a couple of options to win the third one. But yeah, once I was kind of, that always inspired me to, because like week to week the grind can become a bit monotonous. But say I won 2 tournaments on 2 different sites on the Monday and the Tuesday, I'm like, okay, now I've got 5 days to win. So I was like, okay, I've got to be in every day, otherwise I can't win it. So I like got hooked on winning them, and you don't get any, there's no real other incentive for it, but it was definitely like something I strived to do, and like I wanted to be the leader. And once I got in the lead, I didn't want anyone catching me, so I kept grinding them hard. But yeah, I always wanted the live one, but it's eluded me so far. I'm two-thirds of the legs through, but yeah, 30 online is not too bad.
We'll get there. 2007 your first online Triple Crown, and 2019 your last. That's incredible consistency over the years. Do you think 30 will ever be matched?
It's like weird, because it's like it's much harder these days, because like people don't put their screen names out there on some of the sites, and back then there was more sites you could play on. You could play on PokerStars France, Winamax. I mean, now I think you have to have like a European bank account and stuff to play on Winamax. So there was a lot more options. Now now I live in the US, I only really get to play PokerStars and that when I'm in UK, or like travel for a series to Canada. So yeah, now it's pretty much impossible for me to do it. And other people like, it's not as easy with less sites. So who knows? I mean, so that's good. I know. Yeah, I'm sure someone will beat it one day, but it's fine.
Well, I was gonna say, do you think you'll ever get it back, or all the grinding days, the long nights, the long days, have they just gone now? Is it the last time you were number 1 was 2014?
Yeah.
So and you've just more or less said that grinding nowadays like that is just a thing in the past. Is that number 1 slot gone forever?
Yeah, I'm sad to say it, but yeah, I don't think I'll ever put in the volume to get it back. Like I'd have to, like what I'd have to do is like, win one of the huge tournaments where it's like 2 or 3 million for first kind of thing that they have once a year, and then and then still have the sort of heart to want to get it after that, because you get a lot of points for that. So you could if you put the volume in for a couple of months after that, you could theoretically do it. But then if you just won 2 million, are you really gonna want to play poker every day? But like in my head, if I did that, maybe I would try and get it back then. But yeah, realistically, been there, done that. But yeah.
Being the best in the world is never something bad to be said about anybody, and you've done it on more than one occasion. So it's always in the bank. It's always there. But one of the reasons why you lost the #1 spot is because you went on and won a WPT. Just the LA Poker Classic, 534 runners and just over 1 million. Is it a big relief having a WPT?
Huh?
Was it a big relief at the time, getting yourself that WPT?
I mean, it was just a big relief finally winning Heads Up, to be honest. I was like, Dempsey was always giving me shit for losing Heads Up. So I was like, if I lose this one, he's going to have a field day. So yeah, it was just nice. And also at the time, I'd actually been on pretty much my biggest ever downswing. I had to get the backing of horses has gone really bad. I'd had to get rid of everyone. I'd actually sort of, even though I'd won all those tournaments before, I'd not been smart with the money, and I had to pretty much start all over again. I was down playing low stakes, $10 rebuys, like the lot online. I still enjoyed doing that anyway, but now I actually needed to like build my bankroll back. So I hadn't really been playing any live poker for sort of a year. I'd just been taking a break and playing online, trying to build back to bread and butter, build sort of my roll back. And I've been in quite a negative place as well. I've been that guy who's sort of been seeing other people winning and moaning about it and saying, oh, I'm better than them. Why that, just like the guy you don't want to be really. And I started working with well, not through choice. Like my wife basically had enough of me being like negative. So she sort of put me in contact with this mind coach guy, Stephen Simpson. And he'd worked with a couple of people that I knew, like Liv Barry and a few other people. So I gave him a shot. He actually flew to Vancouver. I was playing online in Vancouver at that time. And he flew to Vancouver on a whim, didn't offer him anything at the time. He just said he wanted to have a meeting. He'd obviously read up about me and knew that, I had good potential as a client and stuff. And I met up with him. I came in pretty like, I just meet the guy, but like, I'm not going to work with him. But I actually got a lot out of it and met with him a few times and went on a good online heater, enough that I was comfortable sort of buying into this 10K event and just selling a bit of action to a friend. And yeah, played the live tournament and just ended up winning it. It was surreal. It was crazy. Like, it still feels not real to me now because I've been in such a sort of bad place, not doing well, and in the space of a couple of months of talking to this guy, it sort of flipped my mindset completely. And I still work with him to this day, like five plus years later, just check in with him once a month or whatever, and really recommend it. Like, but it's so, at the time I was completely against it. I was like, I can sort out my own problems, but really, two heads is better than one, especially someone who knows what they're doing, So yeah, like I came into the final table. The final table, it was one of those ones. The final table didn't even go to plan. I was chip leader with 4 left, and then I basically threw away a lot of my chips with some dodgy hands. Misread my hand on the final table, one hand where I thought I had a straight. I think the board was like 4, 5, 6, 7 queen. So pretty scary board. And I thought my opponent just had like a queen, so he wouldn't call that big of a bet. And I had Jack 3 of hearts in my eye, so I missed the flush draw on the flop, but I backdoored into like the low end of the straight. So I was in my head, I was like, okay, I don't think the guy's going to call more than like 50% pot here. So I bet 50% of pot on the river, and he's tanked for a couple of minutes and called. I'm like, okay, good, got max value. And I go flip over my hand to show the winning hand, and I actually had Jack 2 of hearts. So I didn't have the straight at all. And so like, obviously, and in my head, if I had known I didn't have the straight, I would have, against this guy, I would have bet a bit bigger because I didn't think he would call a bigger bet. So yeah, I gone from that. So, that's the swing of being chip leader to being last place. Like, the stacks were that close. And somehow I ended up coming back and won a freeway all in with 3 left, which was just probably my most memorable hand of poker ever. To like get heads up. And then after doing that, I was like, I have to win heads up after, being 1 card away from being eliminated. And this time I have to win. And I did. So it was amazing sort of feeling.
And then 2017, we get the bracelet. We get the bracelet, the 3K6 match.
Finally, yeah.
Just short of 1,000 entries. And it's really weird because the video's been online in the last few days. Can you remember that rail? What's it like having a British rail, man?
Yeah, it was really fun. Yeah, especially because like the last few years, like the World Series hadn't been that many final tables for British people, and so yeah, it was nice to sort of. I was telling everyone I just want to get a final table so we can have some positive sort of morale and have a British rail and layer up a few spots and yeah, and the final table was like one of those dreams that normally you wake up from and it's like you realize it was a dream, but like I just ran so hot on the final table against the other the other best player at the table. I had top set in a free bet pot against him and he had top 2 pair for all the chips, so that basically allowed me to sort of bully the rest of the table. I get heads up with this Brazilian player, good online player, and then he makes a comeback, stalemate. We're playing heads up for like 3.5 hours or something crazy, and I was just like, oh my god, am I ever gonna win one of these things? And yeah, to finally get over the line was it was really, really cool, and just have all your friends there cheering for you. It didn't finish till like 4 a.m. It was late finish, but we still went out afterwards. Yeah.
When you stood on the back rail and everybody's behind you and you're all looking up at the screen and you're waiting for the final card to come and then they just mobbed you. Just fabulous.
Yeah, I think I got in trouble for breaking the TV or something. Someone pushed me into it.
So we got 2 and 3 on the Triple Crown. The EPT has eluded you. Are we going to chase it? Will we when we come back to the live poker and the EPT comes back? And is it something you want to get the live Triple Crown, or is it just happens if I happen to be there?
Probably just happens if it happens, because like the thing is, I only really play. There's not even many like. That's definitely the hardest one of the 3 to win. If you just need a WPT or a World Series bracelet, there's so many events you can play, and even the WPTs, a lot of them are re-entry. So you can buy yourself a stack and stuff like that. But the EPTs are freeze out or 1 re-entry, some of them now. But there's only 4 or 5 of them a year, I think, and most of them I don't go to. Like the only ones I really ever go to, I always go to Barcelona. And that's about it, really. Like I used to go to the Caribbean one, and so yeah, no, realistically it's going to be tough, but obviously the funny thing was I actually had 29 Triple Crowns and I wanted the 30th one to be the live one, and
that would have been nice.
That year I was doing good. I was like chip leader on day 1 in EPT Barcelona, obviously so far to go, but I was in the money and I was actually feeling, oh my god, this could be it. Like even though there's still 100 and something players left at this point, I was like, you never know, this would be really cool just to finish it off in that, but unfortunately it didn't work out. But yeah, I had a few deep chances in EPTs. I think I final tabled EPT London. My mum came up to watch and she gave me the needle because she came, well, it's not even that far a journey. She lives in Essex, so it's like an hour on the train to come up to rail, and I came in only with 20 big blinds, so I've reshoved 7s or something and got called by ace queen and lost the flip, and I'd like get away from the table and she's like, you done? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I come all this way for that. I was like, yeah. So, yeah. Another one. She always used to give me, like back in the day when I was doing bad at live poker as well, she'd always say that she'd watch some poker on the TV and they all wore sunglasses, and maybe that's what I needed to do because I was giving away tells and stuff. So I think actually one year I got to the stage where I was like, oh, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. So it was like a 25k Bellagio big tournament, and I was on day 2 and I didn't know anyone on my table, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. So I went to day 2 and I put on the sunglasses indoors, felt like an idiot, made the most standard raise ever, like ace-5 suited or something, and everyone tanked a little bit before they folded. It was one of those weird ones where everyone maybe had like half a decision or was just still asleep because it was first hand of the day. And it wasn't even a big hand. I won the hand and I just felt so nervous. My heart was beating. I was just like, I was just like, I feel like an idiot wearing sunglasses indoors. So that was the one hand I ever played wearing sunglasses. So I got 100% record on it, but yeah, I just can't do it.
Obviously this year the World Series is not live, which is obviously a terrible shame because we'd all be there right now. We're chasing bracelets. We might even have another one. We're moving to online. Are you going to be focusing on the online World Series? And obviously, there's 85 events, there's 85 bracelets. They are real bracelets. Easier or harder for yourself, do you think? You'll have a chance of winning another bracelet?
Probably better for me because like online is like, you know, I've been doing it for half my life almost now, so I feel really confident, especially the first half of the event.
Your attention please, Ian Musk. Please make your way to the desk. That's Ian Musk to make your way to the desk for a seat number.
There's something wrong with you or me then. I'm always called to be fair.
Once again, Ian Musk, you have a seat. Please make your way to the desk. Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back,
That's
guys.
better. We're moving in all sorts.
Not just my face there. Need yours to even it out.
I turned it on earlier. It was like, that's not me.
Good evening, everyone. Third session of the day. Just had a nice hour dinner break. New players taking their seat at the featured table. Going to run you through who we got in one.
We got Jay.
First cash out winner of the festival last night, Wadey in seat 1. Cash out satellite winner yesterday in 2, James Aikenhead. In 3 is Wilco, Adam Wilkinson. 4, Bixie Yao. 5, Ewan Jones. 6, Julian Riatu. 7, Leon Campbell. 8, Yanis Karklins. And in 9 is Jake Fior.
So this must be a re-entry for Leon.
Yeah, he saw him yesterday on the featured, but he's back having another shot.
Let's do it again.
And talking about WSOP, mostly yesterday, we got a November 9er taking his seat in seat 2.
We have
We were
indeed.
talking, and Anton Saul was on earlier as well. We were talking about the pair of them, and they're both here.
Imagine those two on the same table again. Imagine that. James in seat number 2. And Adam Wilkinson in seat number 3. Good to see James. Good to see him. But we are now back for level 5 of the day. Welcome one and all. Numbers amazing again. Evening Mick the Mod.
Evening Mick, evening Lucky Bucket on Twitch. Not been too much going on in the featured early stages, but we did see a Royal, 1 card Royal. 10 of clubs playing for Dan Cholton last session. Other than that, not been too much to report on the 9, 3, 10, 2 diamond board. Julian flopping 2 overs gut shot, backdoor diamonds, a good blackboard for him to continue. And I'm just going to get the folder from Jake.
Your attention please, Bev. Please make your way to the left. That's Bev. You have a seat.
Look on the Poker Live app to check the numbers for the event. What I do want to know is on the app. It's on the app. It says there's the NPL package vouchers. What does that mean? Apparently it starts at 7 o'clock. I don't understand what it is. The NPL package vouchers. Don't know what that means. I need somebody to tell me what it means. £349,800 in the prize pool, 220 playing, and we have a cracking table.
Yeah, we do. You're right, Kelvin. I'm not sure, Mick. I'm in the commands. I've got it up here. I do it every morning when I get in. It's the first thing I do.
What have you done?
It says you're watching Day 1B of the GUKPT London. We're
Day
playing 10 levels today. No, Day 1B, but when he puts in info on Twitch, it comes up with the Blackpool command. Why is that?
This is Day 1B there.
Yeah, but in the commands, on the settings, you're watching Day 1B of GUKPT London, but Mick's, it says you're watching Day 1A of Blackpool.
Well, it doesn't there.
Yeah, I know, but in the commands for info.
Oh, right.
I've got it plugged as the grand final, Mick. I don't know why it's coming through with Blackpool. But yeah, nice little table for us to come back to after the dinner break.
Oh, the NPL package vouchers. It's all the winners of their packages, so we can issue the vouchers on Card Room Magic. It's not actually a tournament. I was thinking there, I'm sure there's no tournament scheduled for 7 o'clock. Yeah, because as of today, if you want a package, which we can show right now, they're the package winners. While Jay's sorting out the queues like that. Ooh, sorting out the commands. Ooh, what do we do now? What do we do now?
I'm trying to figure it out. Why it's not
You
working.
carry on.
I don't know what to do. I'm just looking at it, Tal.
But right there, all the package winners. Ewan McNicholas in first place. Ben Teague was so close, but second. Chris Johnson, Paul Rigg. Guy Taylor, who's playing today. Andy Bouse is playing today. Chris Maguire's in Vegas. Good luck to Jamie Nixon, who is on the day 2 of the 800 buy-in in Vegas, and also to Rob Cowan, who's chip leader in the Omaha with 24 players left. But they are the guys that have earned their right to be £10,000 diamond package winners, and also Ewan McNicholas as the 20,000 Grosvenor Poker sponsorship for 2022. And 2022 starts this weekend.
And next year it's already been released. National Poker League 35k package going to the winner next year.
Amazing.
It is.
But other than that, all questions have been pretty standard today. We've not been able to not answer anything. It is good. What, well, I know Jim's watching at the moment. What people have asked is, will there be a 25-25 stroke G400 stroke deep stack schedule confirmed at some point for next year, or will they be added during the year, or have they already been set for various casinos? If that could be answered, Jim. Just the G400s and the 25-25s and the deep stack schedule, will there be a release on that?
So freeze for Bixie under the gun.
Oh yeah, Nightbot, you're watching Blackpool.
So strange.
But definitely not in Blackpool. Yeah, and it says there you're watching Day 1B of the GUKPT London. We're playing 10 levels today. Showing one of 3 entries. There you go. Strange. We are not in Blackpool. We were in Blackpool. We had a great time in Blackpool. Everybody had a great time in Blackpool. Mark Ellis was full. It'll be busy now. It's 6 o'clock on a Friday. We've had Cracker Jack.
Lovely turn this for Wilco. Turning trip 2s. Bixie going to make the call of her pocket 3s, meaning the Yanis can get out of the way. As we see a river card, Jack of clubs, so check mark goes the way of Wilco. Going to be wanting to try and get some value from his trip deuces and coming in for a second barrel here. And Bixie just makes the quick fold with the 3s, hoping to get the check from Wilco so we can snap check behind. Pick up for Wilco there.
News regarding the G400s and the 25-25s for next year and the deep stacks. All dates have been confirmed. We will have details imminent. Probably tomorrow. If we get it tonight, then all is good. But good stuff regarding all events for the NPL. Find out where we're going to be going, taking the golf clubs.
Yeah,
we could be.
I think next year we should get down the Wednesday meeting. You have a round of golf before we start. A few beers later that evening.
I think might even go down the Tuesday. Yeah. Depending where we're going. We've got so many invites from up in when we were in Edinburgh, the Scottish golf courses up there. We've got so many invites. We'll be doing some. We certainly will. And what we'd still like to put together is the old golf poker day, golf day poker night. A lot of interest in that while we were talking about it in Blackpool. I think it's a great idea. So level 5 of the day, the numbers are incredible. Again, poker room is buzzing and the turbo starts at 9.
Case 8 on the flop, giving Wadey top set, and
James
for a top pair also. And Bixie going to overcall here with second pair after this action in front of her. King of clubs on the turn. Does bring in a flush draw to go for this with the set of Wadey. Now going to mix in a check. Obviously wary that can be some flush draws out there, but once it checks through, and if we get the check from Bixie here, which we should do a lot of the time, going to have the green light to value bet as Wadey, but doesn't opt to value bet his set. Maybe thinks that James can have some check back nut flush draws on the nut flushes on the turn, but maybe didn't want to get raised, put in a spot with his set. Definitely a spot we can value bet.
Once again, it's the final call. Ian Musk, if you wish to play now, please make way to the desk, or I will begin to seat to the next place.
Lynn Chen, got 2 prize holders, Lynn Chen.
Get me a seat.
Who's on the table and the seats? Hiya, Paul. We ran through them, but every single player now, as you can see there, seat 6, Julian. Leon Campbell back in seat number 7 when he comes back to the table. Seat 1 is Wadey, won himself a seat yesterday in the cash out tournament. James Aikenhead's in 2. And the chip counts are underneath every player. So Yanis in seat number 8 with the hat on there, 27,000. Wins the hand. Lindsay Maith is Chili Pops. I am Chili Pops. Are you chilled out? Are you cold? Are you a bit hot? As in Chili Pops. Are you watching on Facebook, Lindsay? Good evening. Vadim Gimpo as well. Also rooting for Yanis in seat number 8.
Your attention please, Stuart McCormack. Please make your way to the desk for your seat for tournament. That's Stuart McCormack.
So Wadey opting to open the ace-4 in the low jack. Wilco going to flat his pair in the cut-off, and Ewan here going to be continuing. Can go either way with this one. Opts to just call this time in the small, and that's going to bring Julian along with the Queen 8 suited. Julian flops best.
Ace of clubs on the turn.
Yeah, big card here for Ewan, picking up gut shot and nut flush draw. Wadey turns top pair. Going to come in for a bet, try and thin the field down. Ewan not going to be going anywhere with the king queen suited. Got lots of outs to make the best hand on the river.
That's one of them.
That is one of them.
The back door nuts. $27. Maybe you'll see through this and realise either his kicker's not very good. Ewan has it and folds and shows the ace.
Yeah, nice fold, Wadey. He was getting 4 to 1 on a call there, just under.
We got the meaning. Lindsay's chill. Finally got here in time. Good luck. Enjoy the tables. And hope the poker gods all win. Right. Mick's been watching the Royal Flush and posting on. How does he get paid?
Mad thing is as well, I can't remember his name, but the opponent in the pot versus Dan, he was calling for a chop because there was a flush on the board. So
5 clubs on the board. I'm calling for a chop. You ain't got the 10 of clubs for the Royal. Oh yes, I have.
So Leon, extended dinner break for him, coming to the table. Looks like he's fairly short as well, Leon Campbell. So he got there. Maybe there's some 5Ks amongst that stack. So Yanis, big hand under the gun. And limps the kings for 300. And Wadey, well timed over limp. Definitely a hand that we can be ISO in the under the gun limper with, but opts to just over limp, and it's well timed at that. And Yanis now got to go 5-way with kings after limping under the gun.
Not feeling very comfortable 5-way, are you?
And you know what you always say as well, Tower.
Absolutely. Chances are pretty slim though. Half of them out. Half of them already out. 8, 9, 10 flop.
Yeah, this is, everyone's got a piece here, Tower. Got up and down dummy end for Julian. We got top pair for Leon and Bixie. We got up and down backdoor diamonds for Wadey. And Yanis, obviously with the over pair to the board. But Yanis has got to tread very carefully here. Once we go 5-way on this particular board texture, like kings, can be in trouble. So don't want to get too invested with our pocket kings here as Yanis. Yes, we can see he's got the best hand at the moment, but especially going 5-way to the turn. Look at this. Bet and called in 4 spots.
Pairs and brings the flush draw on the turn, the 9 of spades.
So situation stays the same. Good card here for Yanis. Does pick up our backdoor flush draw. But I'm very surprised if anyone's going to take a stab at this now. Good check from Bixie.
Oh, the brick.
So the kings hold.
How do the kings hold?
The kings hold, and Leon going to fire here now with his queen 10. Very optimistic this from Leon. I'm not sure whether this is, well, it can't be a bluff because it's too small a sizing, but maybe it's a little block bet from him. But it's one of them situations when we bet into the whole field. We bet into 4 players. We've gone 5-way to the turn. But we've got kings to fold.
Yeah, we've got the best hand to fold.
Wow.
That's going to be winning the hand.
It's just so, that's the thing, Tower. Kings are folding in this spot. We're never getting called by worse as Leon. And just never getting value from a worse hand. And it's actually going to work out perfectly in this particular situation for him. But in the long run. Like, it's a pretty clear check spot for us, but opted to go third pot and has actually got it through. He probably thinks he had the best of it, but Yanis just aware of the situation. I don't mind the fold with the kings at all. Yes, we're getting 4-1 on our money, but he's aware of the situation. We've gone 5-way to the flop. It's gone bet, called in 4 spots, and then Leon's still firing to 4 players on the river. It's just massive strength shown there from Leon. I actually really like how, other than the limp under the gun, once we limp under the gun, I really like how Yanis played the king's post, understanding the multi-way situation. We do need to tread with caution.
So level 5 of the day. They've had the 60-minute dinner break. We come back to see £368,000 in the prize pool. Since the break, there's been 30 buy-ins. We're on 237.
I think my line's a bit.
What was it? A £5 a point over for me? Is that what it was? Sure it was, wasn't it? Was it not?
Yeah, imagine that. You'd probably be getting a monkey off me the other day, Tower.
Ewan Jones. Nah, he's not that big, to be fair. He just looks it sat in bang in the middle, doesn't he? He was actually bigger, but he slimmed down quite a lot, as Ewan. He's already talking about Vegas next year. Already talking that Big TR might be on his way down for the grand final in 2 weeks' time. One of his best friends. Had some good nights in Vegas with you, and let me tell you, in the piano bar. Oh yes. He was second in Cardiff the last time we had a GUKPT. There was Ewan Jones.
Don't forget as well, this event, making the final table, there are 9 seats added.
£18,000.
Just added to the prize pool.
Added.
Just like that.
Given away.
If you make the FT, you get your seat into the 2K in a couple of weeks' time. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Guys that are sorting out all these promotions for everyone and free money being given out. Bad Beat jackpot's gone up as well, Tower, 320 grand now.
How?
320k.
I think we should just go and play some 1-1 round corner.
Yeah. Should we do half hour each, yeah?
We'll
Half
tag
hour,
team.
just so we're in. Just
We'll
so we're
tag
in.
team.
We'll chop it 60-40.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to say whoever gets the Bad Beat jackpot gets the extra tenner. But £320,000. Flop straight for Leon.
Wow, yeah.
2 pair for Yanis.
Yanis.
Turns 2 pair, does Yanis in seat 8.
He's massive here as well, Yanis, because nut flush redraw to go with it,
Yeah.
and Leon.
And the flop straight.
So hard to flop a flush. Over 1 in 100 times you're going to flop a flush. So very hard to give Yanis credit just for a flop flush here as Leon. So expect him to play this aggressively, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Try and get some value from some perhaps sets, 2 pairs. And
There's to 4.4 and a call from Yanis. How does the turn? The river, the king of clubs.
and this is just bet call always, Tower. It's just never going to be a situation where Yanis is going to be able to fold this one. With our particular hold-in, we've got a really nice hand to bluff catch with. I just don't see how Yanis can ever fold this one. If he finds the hero fold, fair play to the man, but my money's already in.
Turn 2 pair. The Then Yanis in seat number 8.
Like, can Leon ever have like a 7-6? Like, if he's opening 8-5 on the button, he's probably going to be opening 6-4 suited, 7-6 off, all these combos. Yeah, so it's just so difficult to let that one go in that particular situation as Yanis. No fault there from him. It's just one of them spots where we've got a great hand to call. And if you got it, you got it. And in this scenario, Leon certainly had it after flopping the straight.
Moving up to 40,000. Yanis down to 15. '22 kicks off on the 27th of January. Full schedule will be released during our 3 weeks of live streaming here down in the Vic. We've got this weekend for the 1250, next weekend for the NPL, and the week after for the grand final. They are the main attractions, but set your dates, get your diaries filled with the dates, and make sure you join us for 2022, because today is the start of the NPL 2022. This is the first event of it.
Seven six suited for Ewan. Going to open in the low jack, and Julian going to come along with suited connectors of his own. He's going to get Leon out of the way. And Yanis probably going to flat this one on the button now, which he does. And Jake here, interesting spot for him. Definitely can squeeze this one out the small blind some of the time, but opts to just call and take a flop. Big blind gets out of the way. No, they don't. Wadey's in with the ace-3. Mistake. King 4 deuce 2 club flop. So action here, because Ewan and Jake both flopping flush draws. Wadey with a wheel draw. Ewan, even though we're 4-way with this particular holding, I'd like to see the c-bet from him. I know we can see he's in awful shape against this holding, but king high, good board for our range, and not only that, we have equity to make our flush. So Ewan does fire for 1.9k. And slight graphic error here, guys. The small blind has actually called. Obviously, with the ace-jack of clubs, he's not going to be folding. And that's brought Wadey in with his wheel draw. So it's 3-way action to the turn. 7-6 of clubs for you.
He's got Jake in the hand as well. So 3-way action.
And actually turns the best of it now, Ewan, with the 7-6 suited. And probably going to come in for a check now, Tower, after picking up a smidge of showdown, although he does have to be wary that after being called in 2 spots, there can plausibly be some King X out there, but he is going to fire again, so maybe turning this one into a bluff, trying to apply some pressure to some King X that the small blind and Wadey can certainly have. But is he going to fire again on the river, Ewan? That is the question when it breaks out. Oh, he will be firing on the river now.
Certainly will. The 7 of diamonds on the river changes it for you and gets to tick.
So backdoor 2 pair. And going to want to be trying to get called by some of Jake's King, Queen, King, Jack, King 10 suited, maybe even King 9 suited could be in there that he's flattening the small blind. We're never going to get action from flush draws anyway, so opts to go for the lot. And just a snap fold from Jake with the ace jack of clubs, so Ewan takes a nice one there. 13k stack increase from 30.
Easy game. You and Jones seat 5 under the gun +2. Just calls. Just calls. Call? What is it, 27? It's 2007 again.
And Leo going to attack this limp with the Queen 9 in the hijack.
Certainly not enough for Ewan to fold, that is for sure.
Yeah, he's not limping to fold this hand. He's obviously limping with the intention to call, and then he can fold if there is a free bet. But does limp call, closing the action. 3 to this flop. Leon with the bet and lead. Does have position as well. Oh, what a flop for Mr. Aikenhead. Doesn't get any better than that. That is the stone cold nuts on Jack 8-7 Rainbow. And Leon with a gut shot here. Gonna come in for a better 1.2, and James
calls
with the nuts. Just call him, keeping Leon's bluffs in. Obviously hands like Ace Jack, King Jack, Queen Jack, they're drawing dead to runners, so keeping all these type of holdings in the range of our opponent. Yes, we can raise some of the time. We don't have any removal to any of the pairs on the boards. Leon can still have sets, 2 pairs, but just such a monster hand for us here as James that with our stack size, we're happy to flat try and bring you in as well. Deuce of spades to 10, and Leon going to take a free one. Does have equity to get there, can find a 10.
Doesn't. 3 of spades on the river.
So James now got to think about what's Leon's range look like here, what size are we going to opt for, what are we trying to get called by, and opts for 3.5 into 5.3, so around 2/3. Maybe trying to get called by some check back jacks on the turn of Leon, maybe some 8x, some 8-9 suited, 8-10 suited that can be in there. But as we can see, Leon with queen high, never going to put another penny in.
James Aikenhead makes his stack look like 15,000. What's coming up in London this week? You want to check out all the details. This is the entire schedule, 18th of November till the 5th of December. As you can see, it's the 12.50 for us for the next 3 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The mini starts on Sunday. The grand final satellites are always there. The 300 tomorrow is the side event, starting at 4 o'clock, late reg till 6:15, 30-minute clock, 15,000. Starting stack, plenty going on. And then the second week, there's also a high roller PLO, there's a 1 day of 500, there's a seniors event. I'm off on the Tuesday.
Why don't you play it?
I'm off on the Tuesday.
Oh, Joe, I'll have a little piece. If you want to play it, I'll have a little piece.
I'm off on the Tuesday.
If you want to play the seniors,
What time does it start?
It starts probably what?
6 o'clock. They'll all be in bed at 7.
It's too late. It's too late for a seniors event. 6, ain't it?
Seniors event. Oh, we might have to flick it in. What does the chat box say? Seniors.
We got to put Tower. We got to find a way to get Tower in the seniors.
30th of November, the day before the Davy Day. Tower's in town. 6 o'clock. I can sleep till 5:30.
Yeah, because we're not until.
What's the PLO 456?
Level of each,
Yes.
Chelsea fans. So level 1 will be 4 card PLO, level 2 will be 5 card, level 3 will be 6 card, level 4 back to 4, level 5 5 card, and so on like that. So it just changes the variant.
There is the PLO the week before, which is just 4 card.
Yep. I did actually think, wouldn't it make more sense? I know it's done now on the schedule, but because the 4 5 6 is a bit more punty, wouldn't it make more sense to make that the 200 and the 1K just the 4 card?
Yeah, maybe. But you know what people in London are like.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking forward to it.
If you get a bag of
actually.
tiddlywinks, they'd have a gamble.
Yeah.
You know. So that's the full schedule. And talking about full schedules, that's what we're going to be doing. So now we need somebody like PK to put a red line through 18 day 1A, because we've done that. And then tomorrow morning, day 1B, done that.
Yep.
And then one by one.
We will see it getting closer and closer to
And
the
then when
finish.
there's only one line spare on the
Yeah.
5th of December, we then know then it's pipe and slippers on the 6th.
Pipe and slippers.
That's what we're streaming 3 weeks on the trot to finish off. And next year, it finishes pretty late, so it's like the 1st till the 18th of December, and fingers crossed we'll be doing something the same next year regarding the grand final in 2022, because that'll be a biggie as well. 1st until the 18th. Here he is. So Binky Winks, just remember, kids, the louder the scream, the faster you ride. Yvonne. Harry, I'm scared of losing my quads. It happens. I've seen it happen on telly and everything. So yeah, it's a fantastic schedule for the festival, and next year as we start the NPL 2022 this week. This is the first event. One thing you will have is one up on the champion this year, because he's not even in town.
Yep. So Yanis opting to limp the ace-8 suited. Saw him limp kings earlier. So if we are opting with limp strategy, as I say, you need to incorporate some weaker limps into your range. Some players won't have any limps at this stage of the tournament, but if you are opting for some limps, you do need to mix it up, a bit of balance. If people are aware you have weak as well as strong hands in your range, be less likely to attack those limps. Checked over to Bixie. Bixie's going to check call, sorry. Checked over to Yanis, who fired with the ace-8 of spades, and Bixie makes the call of her up and down straight draw. So 5 on the turn, doesn't change anything. Ace high is still good. Bixie just sitting here with 9 high, and Yanis opts to take a 3-1, which is the 10 of diamonds. So check mark going the way of Yanis here with the ace-8 of spades, and Bixie just sitting here with 9 high. She's probably going to be aware that we're never going to be good at showdown with this one, but Yanis shows the ace-8, which is good.
Barry Neville, how good is it to see Ewan back in the groove? We had 5 weeks in Vegas with him. Ask him to sing for you, Phil. Believe it or not, he's got an angel of a voice. So let me tell you a little story about Ewan Jones and singing. We were in the piano bar in New York, because the first piano bar is in Harrods, and it's the main one. The dueling pianos. They got the twins, the blonde twins. Started it all. They moved on to New York. We were in New York. There was Adam Wilkinson. There was you, and there must have been 10 of us, all singing, all dancing. What happens is you request a song, you pay to it $10, $20, whatever it is. They'll sing it. Everybody joins in. Ewan thought, this is me. I give you $50, let me sing the song. Give me $50. Give me the microphone. I've got $50 here, let me sing the song. They give him the $50, and what happens is what used to happen in the early days of the piano bar is if you didn't like a song, you'd get $10 for somebody else to sing it, for the other person to sing on another song. So that's why it's dueling pianos. So it's changed now, the concept's changed a little bit. So he gives $50. He says, let me sing this song. So he starts up singing, and it's got Sweet Caroline. So he starts swinging, and he gets the microphone. He's getting $50 to sing this, and he goes, where it began, and somebody shouts, 100 to shut up. And he cut the music off, and that was it. And Ewan's going, there's no microphone turned on. It was, oh my days, it was so funny. 100 to shut up. Ewan Jones, and he sat with Adam Wilkinson, who was there as well. Adam in seat number 3. So funny. Paul Leverage, brilliant. Honestly, it was so funny. He's just about to sing. He said, "Where it began," and that was it. Get off! Oh, it was funny. It was so funny.
Good evening, Paul on YouTube says the final day for the grand final is also the World Cup final in Qatar. Who's planned that?
Who's even having a World Cup at that time?
Who's put? Imagine if England make World Cup final.
That's well. Uh-oh. Jim. Do you think it'd be an issue?
I think it would. Honestly, I think it would. If we're in a World Cup, I know that
we're not going to be able to play when it's 40 degrees. We can't play when it's not. But I know what you mean. See, that's Sepp Blatter's fault for agreeing to have a World Cup in the middle of winter. All Major League Soccer has to stop for a World Cup in November, December. That's it, they'll change the World Cup. We'll ring him up. Have you any idea what's on in London? Well, yeah. There's a GUKPT Grand Final. Change that day.
Did he get his $50 back? Asked Mick the Mob.
No, not a chance.
He didn't get it back.
Not a chance.
So you got to sing three words for $50.
It was the funniest thing ever. He literally sang "Where It Began," and that way the mic was cut off, and somebody shouts, "I'll get 100 to shut up." Oh, it was funny. Yeah. Well, that's. I'm glad you've told us that. I'm not too sure if it is an issue or what the plan is regarding that. But the World Cup final is on the 18th of December, 2022. What's that all about? And the CFO's going to Qatar to watch it. Apparently, no idea why, but there you go.
Do you know the amount of money they've spent on stadiums and everything over there? It's like crazy money, absolutely crazy money for the World Cup. So James raising to 800. And Yanis, ace queen in the big blind, going to be free betting this one to 800, from 800 to, is that 5.2, 4.2, 5.9, huge from Yanis, went the full 7x and a little bit more, just committing himself.
Do you want a tower exclusive?
What's exclusive?
Do you want a tower exclusive? What's there? What is that there? What is it?
National League.
When was it?
Last year, 2021.
Do you want to know what's happening in 2022?
I thought we knew, didn't we? We knew 35k.
Stop the press.
Okay.
Stop the press. National Poker League 2022. £35,000 package for first place. We knew that. You didn't know. The second and third packages are 15 grand.
Wow.
£15,000. Fourth to eighth are already guaranteed to be 10 grand.
Okay.
And 10 5k packages for the playoffs.
Is that like this year? If we get more prize pools, a bit more will be added.
Absolutely.
Okay.
When they take the 2%, they don't keep the rest. They just stick it straight back into all the players, and that's what they've done this year. And that's why there's 15 packages this year to be played for, and the 1250 seats and the 250 seats as well added as well. So that's 21 prizes. That, by the way, £35,000 package, which includes 20 for the first year, 10 for the second year, and 5 going on to the third year. And if you win it, you can still play in 2023 because you know it. You're not going to get you're not going to get discarded just because you've got the package from 2022. You can carry on and roll it over. You might be sat here when I'll have slippers, pipe, I'll have grey beard, I'll be sat here then in the NPL 2047. That is fabulous. £35,000 package for next year's NPL. 20, 10 and 5 split over the next 3 years. And also, on top of that, which we've not mentioned, there's a 5k Vegas experience package for the winner.
As well. It's a 40k, basically. Am I eligible? Are you eligible?
I am for Vegas. Just to let you know.
Me too.
Just to let you know, talking of Vegas, we're already looking at them dates there for the Vegas. We've already worked out that at the end of June, at the beginning of June we can, and on the end of July we can go there, and in between the Goliath we do it again. Let me tell you, there's all sorts going on. That, by the way, for the NPL. What a shout! We knew it was popular. We knew it was good. Said it all year that it's the best promotion, I think, for a poker player. I really do think, and that just tops it and gets better. There's a 5k package for the winner to Las Vegas. Oh my days. Absolutely amazing. The 5k, obviously the person, the man or lady who wins the 5k Vegas package will need a tour guide. Need a tour guide. Just saying, I know everywhere. I know where all the places to go. I know where to get the apples and the oranges and the bananas cheap. I know how to get it. I tell you what, if you need any kind of, I'm your man.
Tower's available. If you have Vegas next year, you need a tour guide between them dates when we're not working. Tower's your man.
Let me tell you.
So we got an all in here. Flush draw versus trip 8s or Wadey. Jake with the Jack 6 of diamonds going to need to find a diamond that doesn't pair the board. And does exactly that. 9 of diamonds on the river. Jake gets the double. Unlucky for Wadey there. And G was already out of his seat. He's nearly at the cash desk again. Let's sit back down.
So we'll be promoting the 2022 National Poker League because that is fantastic from Grosvenor. It really is. And I was saying it all along that I thought that was the best promotion that there's ever been, and it just got better for 2022. But you'll need a tour guide for Vegas.
Yeah.
You really will. You'll need a tour guide. And all the best. I even know where there's karaoke at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Did it not say in brackets after the 5k Vegas experience, Tower included as tour guide?
There you go.
That's what it should have said. Get you out there as well. So Yanis just swapped into a Limpner 9A suited for 300.
Chelsea fan says, can you pay back for card or is it all cash? Yeah, you can buy in now, direct debit. You can buy in with direct debit now as well as cash.
Action again. James flopping bottom pair, second nut flush draw. Wadey's got top pair and Yanis has got top 2. And three-way action to the turn.
The Aikenhead as a flush draw.
And the 10 of clubs. So Yanis still with the best of it, but Wadey does pick up and down straight draw to go with what is now second pair. Once checked us here as Yanis probably just want to be firing here. There's not only rivers that are going to kill our action, but they're really bad for our hand. Wow, he checks his back. How's he found a check here on the turn? And still going to win this pot if it does get to showdown, which it obviously he's not going to bet now on this
bet the
dicey
river.
river. So he is going to take this with the 9-8. Still not showed his cards. There they are.
Yannis picking up a small one. Could have been more juicy, but it didn't materialise like that.
Yeah, whatever Chelsea fan, cash or card, both are available to use to buy in.
So back to the action, Leon with the 7s. All looking good this Friday evening as the prize pool is getting closer to 400,000.
So Wilco, got a nice spot to come in for free bet here. I'm going to squeeze out the big with the ace king after this action in front of him. Makes it 4k. Love the sizing as well. 5x over an open and a call out of position. And that's going to be job done because Wadey not going to be continuing with 9-7 off. How long until the feature table change? We've got a while yet, Barry. We've got an hour and a half till the feature table change. We're going to be going on the next break in an hour and 10 minutes, and then we'll probably have a 20-minute break. So got a while till we switch around the featured. Although this is a good
Pretty
feature
decent,
table.
to be fair.
Probably not going to get better than. Ewan opening the ace jack suited under the gun, raised to 800, and Jake just going to flat the queen 10 off in the hijack. Just going to bring Wadey in with suited wheel ace. Wilco's in with the old jack 8 of clubs, and Bixie not going to defend the 8-5, although she was getting just under 5-1 in the call, 4-way action. Ewan with the best of it at the moment. I believe he's still got the best of it here. Oh no. Yes, he does. Wadey's flopped the flush draw, but Ewan's still with the best hand at the moment. Wadey firing for 2k into the whole field, so this one should just work. It's going to be very difficult for either Ewan or Jake to continue here. Wadey betting into 3 players, can plausibly have King X after flattening the cut-off. Going to have hands like King Queen, King Jack, King 10. 2 quick faults.
Hopefully it's just you, Mick the mod on Twitch. Fingers crossed.
Just Mick.
Jay's got it.
Oh,
YouTube's got an error. But it's back.
yeah, you
It just like has a minute, goes for a cup of tea and comes back. Yeah. One says the stream went off but came instantly back. How bizarre.
all the viewers have gone tower on Twitch.
Oh,
Everyone on Twitch has just disappeared.
everybody.
Literally
The
everyone.
world has disappeared.
It's saying everyone's still watching in the users in chat, but it says 0 down here.
Bizarre, eh?
Yeah, strange one.
Mick the mod says viewer count went to 0. How bizarre is that? Some strange going on in the interworld.
It's London.
Weird. It's bizarre.
Interesting. Not sure why that's happened. I think we're still everyone with us, although it says you're not on the count.
Connection keeps dipping, says Warren. Fingers crossed it stabilises, my friend. As you know, we don't like it any more than anybody else in the world. 52 hours of streaming in Blackpool. Droppages 0.0. Any show from Vicky Corrin? She'll probably play the grand final, I reckon. Vicky doesn't play too much now. Does a lot more TV, to be fair, in the last 12 months. I have no idea who Mr. Puncher is.
He's talking about me. Because Twitch obviously went off and then he started hearing me speaking again. He thinks he's a comedian, old Chef Brad, cook and comedian, part-time cook, part-time comedian.
So level 5 of the day. Less than 10 minutes to go until the end of this level. Blinds will be up. Yes. Come on, Brad. You know you want to play the turbo at 9 PM. You've got to get involved. There's 400 grand in the prize pool, man. Got to be involved. To be fair, a buy-in's only about 6 hours work for you, isn't it? The way he was talking earlier. Prize pool currently standing at £386,100. We have the turbo. There's 252 runners in so far for day 1B. And weirdly, average stack is only 28,000. Just seems like it should be more, but it's not.
So Yanis going to free bet the ace queen, facing Leon's under the gun open with the fours. And Leon just snap, gets out of the way. Rightly so. I know we can see he had the best of it, flip situation, but Yanis free betting our under the gun open, showing real strength there. Yeah, I am, Brad, you're right.
5 cash tables running, and don't forget the Bad Beat jackpot starting 6 till 6. Every Grosvenor casino that has poker. £320,000 in the Bad Beat jackpot. Quads over quads. Whenever it goes, wherever it goes, if you're sat at a table playing at no limit, then you will get a slice of it. And I am sure we'll hear where it's gone if it goes this weekend. Harry says, "Have you got any thoughts on the Towers treble?" No, and what normally happens is I normally stop up all night Friday night.
Yep.
Working overnight. Take the coffee to the room, and
all the hotel lights will be off in the building. You'll just see one little light on, and that'll be Tower in his room, running all the sims of the football matches.
Exactly.
It's coming.
Finding out who can't lose.
Barney Boatman on Twitch says, how did Andy fare on the feature? Andy.
Which Andy would that be?
I'm not sure.
Have we had an Andy on the feature table today?
Not today, I don't think. Maybe yesterday.
Or the first. This is the third table, isn't
First session of the day. Yeah, we didn't have an Andy first session of the day. We didn't have an Andy second session. Andy Hills, he's not been on the featured. Of course, we know what you're talking about now, Barney. We know what you're talking about.
Folded sevens, folded nines, folded jacks. All correct.
Yeah.
Strangely, all correct.
And then she just cold 4-bet ripped the ace jack for like 60 odd big blinds.
Yep. Evening, Kev. Kev will have finished for the weekend right now. 10 to 7. He must have just had some kind of Thai curry and then a little bit of Merlot just to relax watching the live stream. And Chef Brad's got the mighty Southend United to watch on telly later, who are playing third in the league, Grimsby Town at Blundell Park. I've been to Grimsby loads of times. One of the coldest football grounds ever. It's literally 10 yards from the sea. It's freezing.
So what's the difference between a casino next to the sea and a football ground next to the sea, can I ask?
You don't play outside when you're in a casino, let me tell you.
It's still freezing up there.
No, but you're inside. When you're at a football match, you're not. You stood on the terraces.
You're nearly inside.
Well,
you got a bit of cover.
Well, it may be so, but when you're outside, stood on them terraces, Grimsby Town's cold. By the time you get to the Vic, you'll be 4-0 down, so don't worry about it, brothers. GUKPT 1250 has hit £400,000 in the prize pool. Great effort from everybody yet again. Amazing.
Ace and the hearts for Julian with the ace in the cutoff. Blind's gone up yet? No, I think they're going up next hand.
Yeah,
so yeah, Julian working with about 45 bigs here.
So I think we're one buying off £400,000 in the prize pool. What a great effort yet again. GUKPT delivers. Amazing. And we have 3 weekends of live streaming for you. Blinds up next hand as Dina's dulcet tones sounds that the blinds are up next hand. Chef Brad says the lad finishes with Southend United at 7:30. Get him home and then head off about 8ish. Surely if he kept his boots on, he'd get a game, wouldn't he? They're on telly at 7. Yeah. They're on telly at 7:45. They're on at 7:45. Get him a game. Oh, here's the Vic in all its glory. Well done to Chris Johnson for winning a 10k package. There he is. How busy is that room, by the way? You won't be getting inside any of the tables. Look at that. That is buzzing. Absolutely love the Vic when it looks like this. So good. Every single table in use.
There's Chris Johnson.
Ryan Mandara directly in front of him as well.
And I've noticed TJ's on that table as well.
Is
Terry
he?
Jordan's on there.
Is he?
I'm pretty sure I saw him.
A 10k package for Chris Johnson. We spoke about him loads. Aye. The man on form, Blackpool winner, Blackpool biggest cashier, and then they chopped it with, I think Richard Orton's actually in the building today. I think I saw him earlier. There's Bouncy. Another 10k package. Katie Swift, who was stuck in traffic this morning, sat next to Rennie Share.
Yeah, Rennie, one of 2 ladies to make the playoff, finished in the top 80. Only 2 women done that. Rennie, one of those.
wonder what song Kate is listening to today. Harry Styles? No. Nice to get pans.
I'm surprised you know that is Tower. To be honest with you,
Oh,
I'm really surprised you know that is.
Cheers. I think he does a cooking program on a Saturday morning, doesn't he? Yes. So nice to get the pictures from the room. They're hard to get through, that is for sure, for PK, because it is every single table. 5 cash tables, there could be 20.
Yeah, by the end of the night, I think that's a good shout. I reckon there'll be around 20.
Yep.
Time we leave. So, Wadey, 5 deuce of diamonds. Fine to open this one on the button once folded to us, and James here got a really nice spot to just move all in, and that's exactly what he does for 22 bigs. This is a really good hand to shove versus button and cut off opens here in the small or even the big blind for this amount of bigs. And Wadey just has to let the 5 deuce go. Nice pick up there from James Aikenhead without having to go to a flop.
Some good names going to be with us next week for the MPL playoff for the 15 5k packages. Tom Bacon is going to be playing. Kev Cheryl Ambos, Mark Dyson, Richard Hayes, David Crane, David G, Brad Simpson. Alfie Baldwin's going to be playing. Not seen Alfie for ages. Axel Rose online. Rennie Share, she's in the playoff, who we've just seen on the outer table, sat at the side of Katie. Poker Mel's going to be on her way down. Rich Kelly, Lee French, and Dan Knight was the last person in, and a 5-point cushion on Keith Smith, who bubbled. Keith Smith finishing in 81st place, and the top 80 getting into the playoffs. So the 8th till 80 got in Keith Smith. Brian Clark making the late push for a chance of getting into the playoffs that failed. He finishes 14 points off after moving up 11 places the week before.
So, Julian flopping the nuts here of aces. Bixie opted to defend the big blind with a jack 10. Going to have to call once here with middle pair on ace 10 deuce 2 clubs. But opts to just fold. Very good fold from her. Obviously it is a EP open. Maybe thinks he's more weighted towards ace X. Even the hands are ahead of hands like king queen, king jack. Still going to have decent equity against us, but see a lot of players call once there, but Bixie makes a good discipline laydown as well when she was drawing dead to runners.
Yeah, and don't forget there's a online playoff as well for one 5k package, and the bubble was 0.13.
Oh.
Ryan Dodd finished 0.13 back from Elias Bezentois. Wow. 0.13 not to get into the player for one platinum package worth £5,000. Lee Mulligan's going to be in there. Big Ben Malageds, Hendrik Gecki, Ben Dobson, Gary Stevens Smith, Simon Baker. Simon's going to be joining the team. Can he play? Oi! So Weebrick will be in the 5k, the 5k playoff. One platinum package, winner take all. We'll give you that when it comes up.
Oh, Bixie's run into it.
Uh-oh.
I love the shove. But as I always say, when someone wakes up with it behind you, there's just nothing you can do about the situation. And Bixie gonna need to find a 9.
Well, she normally hits on this. In the early days, she normally hits. So I could see a 6, 7, 8 floppy or something like that.
Well, there's only 1 9 left in the deck tower, so she's gonna probably need the 6, 7, 8 flop to have any chance of survival.
That's pretty dry.
Yes, that's 4% she's down to now. Well, just closer to 5%, but gonna need the remaining 9. 2% job on the river.
Any chance?
Case 9.
Case 9.
Ooh, a 10 of diamonds, so we are going to lose Bixie out. Ewan with the aces busts her.
Unlucky. Adam Wilkinson just says blessed. Bixie eliminated. One of our lady players gone. Tea, sunshine?
Yes, please.
What would you like?
Just tea, no sugar.
Just tea. Well, if I said tea, you say, yeah, I'll have a coffee. So
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes I do. You're right. You're right.
Tea,
Very
it is.
good
It's
point.
on the way.
So Queen Jack for Yaris. Seen him limp a fair amount this session. He's going to continue with that strat. Limps for 400. We got complete from Ewan in the small blind, and Julian going to check his option in the big. 10 for 6 rainbow. So Queen Jack here, actually the best hand. Both Julian and Ewan whiffing this one, but Julian going to fire with 7 high and a gut shot. Which I like actually. It's a limp pot. It's not a donk, it's just a lead. No aggressive action pre, so we know that we've got all the 2 pairs. We've got the 10-4, the 10-6, the 6-4, all these combinations, checking in the big blind, and comes in for the lead with a gut shot. Nice little play there from Julian. Yeah, I think we've been back for a while, Barney. I think Twitch has just had a few hiccups today. It just keeps cutting off and then coming straight back on about a minute later. It's been a strange one. So Yanis once more opts the limp, this time Queen 10. Jake's going to over limp the 4-3 suited, and Wadey comes in for a big squeeze. Just over 6x with the ace king of diamonds, making it 2.5k. And that should be the end of that.
And some food.
Yes, Adam, I am playing 3 events. It was meant to be 4, but because of the work on Wednesday, it's only going to be 3. They are going to be the mini. I'm going to be playing day 1B on Monday. and then I'll be playing the PLO 4-card 250 on Wednesday, and then next week, you are correct, I am going to be playing the 1K PLO on Monday.
I might be playing the seniors.
And Tao might be in the seniors.
Woo woo! I've got a drink here I didn't ask for.
That's nice. What's that?
That's peppermint tea with honey. Don't ask.
Who made you that?
Well, one of the valets came back and said somebody's ordered peppermint tea with honey, then decided didn't want the honey. Take it back. So there it is.
Oh, you can smell that. That peppermint, can't you? Yeah, come say hello, Adam.
Yes, definitely come and say hello. We still want to do an event where everybody in the chat box comes in with a name badge.
Yeah. Chatbox comp.
Absolutely.
You need to have watched over 100 hours on Twitch to get entry or something like that.
That's what we want. Name badges. One person missing this week at the moment. Where's Chiesa?
Yeah.
Not seen him.
Said he was going away, didn't he? Said he was going away somewhere. I can't remember where.
Fancy having a holiday.
But he said he was off to somewhere. I think it was like Caribbean or something.
That's it. Or just wear a t-shirt with your own face on it. Maybe that's a thing. Like Chef Brad does. Where he's all in for his final 24,000. Wait, saying final 24,000. What are the blinds? Under the gun jam, basically. Blinds have gone up. Blinds have gone up. The blinds are now 2-4 with a 4.
So Ewan got a nice one to open. Raises to 1K, and Julian's going to be in with a suited Queen Jack. Leon got an easy fold with his particular holding, and Wadey going to defend this one, I expect. He's suited, we can flop a straight, closing the action, getting a nice price. King 5 deuce, 2 club board, so Ewan flopping will draw, and Julian here, great board for us to be firing on. We're going to have a lot of King X ourselves, calling Ewan's open, King Queen, King Jack, King 10, so on. We've got removal to some King X of our opponents, King Queen and King Jack less likely, and on top of that we got a flush draw as well. Just a lot going on for us there.
Have you seen it?
Oh,
we're freezed again.
We've gone again.
We're freezing. We'll sort it out.
That's me there. Look at
that studying.
I'm seeing how much I'm down this week. I'm like, that don't look that good on that piece of paper.
Have you seen? I've just had a message. Have you seen the Wins new bounty comp? It's called a mysterious bounty. Every time you knock a player out, you go to the front of the desk. There's a tombola with tickets in it. You pull one out, and you get your prize. There could be absolute garbage in there. There could be great prizes. Hendrik Gecki's just done one.
Yeah.
He's playing in the win.
Yeah.
Hendrik Gecki's Mystery Bounty has just turned out. He turns it over. He's playing in the win right now. He flicks it over. What's the Mystery Bounty? Boom! 25 grand. What?
You got a 10k one as well.
25 bags.
That's your Mystery Bounty. £25,000.
What's the buy-in for that?
Well, it's a Mystery Bounty.
No, the buy-in for the comp.
I have no idea.
We not know.
It won't be that much. It won't be 25 grand, that is for
Well,
sure.
it's probably got to be at least a 1k, right?
It might be. But every time you knock somebody out, you get a bounty. Hendrik Gecki, 25, a large. Thanks for coming.
Just prints that man wherever he goes. Just absolutely prints money.
Hey, Grosvenor, here's a thought.
Yeah. Oh, what's someone in the stream?
Here's a thought. GUKPT.
Mystery Bounty.
Mystery Bounty.
Dinner with Tower as one of them. Imagine Dinner with Tower.
Nobody's done it before.
Yeah, we know, guys. Sorry.
Oh, what's
sorry,
happened?
sorry.
Oh, we're freezed.
Yeah, we've had a little freeze.
Oh.
We're still on the comms cam though.
How weird is that? We're moving, the table's not. Uh-oh, PK's on it. PK's on it. Well, the cams are on. We can talk, we can chat, we can have a good. In Jamaica, it's like.
Who's that? Penny Smith.
In Jamaica, a slice of pie costs $3.50. In the Bahamas, a slice of pie costs $5.50. These are the pie rates of the Caribbean.
It's dreadful. It's just dreadful.
It's not. It's brilliant. I like it. Oh my days, I think it's great. Yes, we know we're frozen, and unfortunately, we're just on the case right now. We don't know why. We don't know what's happened. But you've got us to ask us a question. Fire away. We will sort the stream out. PK is already on the case right now, but I like that. I think that's really good. I do. I think that's quite funny. And then you can see us watching the old peppermint tea. Peppermint tea with honey.
You can smell it as well. It's just like really strong smell.
Mint, sweet mint, as in it's got honey in it. It's actually quite nice. So, unfortunately, the pictures have just frozen at the minute. We are on the case at the moment. Apologies for the live stream break, but we're on it now. Hey. So fingers crossed it will be back. But yeah, what about the
that one I like.
Oh,
I mean that one's
Silent
funny.
Baker.
It's poker related.
Oh, just brilliant.
Everyone's coming in with the jokes
I
now.
tell you what, it is quite nice. Peppermint tea with honey. Bit of a winner. Apparently the peppermint tea cleanses the palate as well. And it's good for you. Oh my days. What do you call a chicken with lettuce in its eye? No. Come on, chef. Come on.
Chicken Caesar salad. That's quite good, that one.
A chicken Caesar salad. Very good. Very good. Just to let you know, we are I think we're one buying short of the 400k. I'm still loving the bounty. The mystery.
25 bags for just going in a little tombola.
The mystery bounty. Amazing. 258 runners so far today.
100 bags in one of them.
Wow.
100k. Imagine that, knocking someone out, pulling out 100k. Sorted. Not good.
Oh,
might have to have a reset, guys.
Uh-oh.
Might be looking like a reset from us.
It has frozen. We have seen it. As you can see, the TV did freeze. Don't give up the day job, Brad. The first one was good. We should have stopped.
We know that one. We know
Stop
that
when
one.
you're in front. There is a rule. Stop when you're in front. It is just one of those things. The last 30 minutes of this session might be, unfortunately, as you can see right there, the clock's now counting down. PK has tried everything apart from stopping and starting. That's always the last thing that we do.
We're on break at just
stopping and
after
starting.
10-2 as well, so
Yeah.
in 33 minutes time, well 34, 35 minutes time, we are going to be going on
So
break.
what
anyway.
we'll do is that we'll take this 30 minutes. When it comes back live, we'll then chat during the break, and we'll come back with all the questions and all the answers for everything. Is this a freeze out? Nice one, Maxley. This is we've definitely frozen out. they're all at it. They're all at it for us. But yes,
We'll be back in around half hour's time.
as you can
There'll
see
be
right
what-
there,